I'm shuffling.
Mookie Betts, who, is going through a lot of injuries, had an uneven year last year, scuffling this year, was on an injured list, come back. He bounced back in a big way, right? He's been scuffling all year. But, Rob G., we found out something about his social media.
Yeah, maybe one of the reasons why he jumped out of that slump last night is because he, according to himself, deleted his social media accounts from his phone early in the week, saying he was losing sleep over some of the comments that he was getting from fans.
And that's all good and well, and I hear you. I mean, if you don't want to be on it, I'm not going to sit here and tell you have to be on it and have to be a part of it. But Mookie Betts is en route to the Baseball Hall of Fame. If he gets healthy and continues, you know what I mean? Like
he got 4 rings. He's going.
Right. And if he continues to do what he's doing, right? Like get back to, because he hasn't been himself for 2 years. Could you admit
That's
that?
true.
Like 2 years.
And I think him getting sick, he lost some power.
Yeah, and that's where fans are frustrated because Mookie Betts was a en route Hall of Fame player, right? And when he was going good, the Dodgers were going good and winning. And I understand fans being disappointed, right? That Mookie's not. When you're batting under 200, you're Mookie Betts. Are you serious?
Right.
This is a big guy. But the other thing is, and I think this is where people get caught up in the social media, and maybe you could explain because I'm an older guy. For Mookie to think that the reason he's struggling is because of the negative energy from outside is no more the reason that when you were playing.
To get the rest of what The Odd Couple said, podcast it by searching Odd Couple. And as always, you can listen to The Odd Couple with Rob Parker and Kelvin Washington. Weekdays at 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific, right here on Fox Sports Radio. This is Two Pros and a Cup of Joe.
Yeah, baby.
George Kittle, he had some thoughts on this 18-game schedule, this 18-game season that feels like it's a foregone conclusion.
So you sign a contract to play 16 games. They added the 17th game, and you don't get paid any more money. Your paycheck just gets cut an extra time.
This is all collectively bargained. This wasn't a surprise. It's been in the CBA. So either the NFLPA, which obviously has its own issues, isn't informing players well enough of what is actually in the CBA. Guys aren't reading it, or guys who are part of it don't understand it.
He probably is uninformed. He could be informed. Kittle, you're allowed to have your opinion, whether it's right or wrong, I guess, but maybe you should make sure you're educated on what it is that's taking place.
Two Pros, LeVar Arrington, Brady Quinn, and a Cup of Joe, Jonas Knox. 6 a.m. Eastern, 3 a.m. Pacific on Fox Sports Radio.
3, 2, 1.
It's Stu Gatz.
Yes.
And he Gatz Company.
I love that.
Stu Gatz and Company. Live.
That's what he's doing. Unapologetic.
And they're blending sports.
Listen, kicking's an individual sport.
With whatever they want.
I once went to 11 consecutive dead shows at Madison Square Garden.
Sometimes I like to talk.
What? It's Stu Gatz and Company live. Listen weekdays at 3 p.m. Eastern, 12 p.m. Pacific. Right here on Fox Sports Radio. The most fearless voice in sports is on FS1. The one and only Colin Cowherd is bold, unique, and outspoken.
Wow.
You can see him on The Herd, weekdays at noon Eastern on FS1 in the Fox Sports app. And here's what you need to know.
The Carolina Hurricanes eliminated Montreal, taking Game 5 of the NHL's East Final 6-1. So the East champs will host Vegas Tuesday in Game 1 of the Stanley Cup Final. In the NBA, Oklahoma City's Jalen Williams will miss Game 7 Saturday against the Spurs due to his hamstring injury. What a Friday night in Major League Baseball. Pittsburgh wins on a 2-run homer, bottom of the ninth, 6-5 over Minnesota. The Mets with a 2-run homer in the 10th beat Miami 9-7. White Sox on a 10th inning 2-run homer, 4-3 over Detroit. St. Louis edged the Cubs 6-5. Montreal won in 10 at Houston. Seattle in 10 innings over Arizona. Yankees won their 5th straight. Dodgers won their 6th in a row. Colorado ended a 5-game losing streak, 8-6 against the Giants with 5 runs in the bottom of the ninth on 2 homers. And the Braves won again, 39-19 the record after a win 8-3 at Cincinnati. I'm Steve DeSager.
Let's begin, shall we?
F&A.
Let me tell you something.
Kevin Figures.
My entire take here is moved.
Adam Osley.
There's a conversation to be had.
3, 2, 1.
Oh, yeah. They're kicking the weekend off. It's F&A.
Point well taken.
Sound good?
That is so exciting.
Got you.
Live from the Fox Sports Radio studios, here's F&A. Kevin Figures and Adam Osley.
That's right. Another edition of F&A on FSR. Kevin Figures, that is me. Adam Oslin, that is he. Hit us up on X at KFig1. And at Follow Adam A, we are also at F&A Show on X. Adam Oslin, what's going on?
Streaming on the YouTube side now as well. F&A
right.
Show. Just search for us there. Everything's good, Kevin. It's good to be back.
Adam, Ashland.
It's our time. Friday nights here on Fox Sports Radio. And boy, do we got a good one tonight. We really do. This is the one. This is the one. It's like our Game 7 as well, Kevin. Very important.
Our Game 7. Got a big Game 7 coming up tonight or tomorrow night, depending on where you'll be listening here on the Fox Sports Radio Network. So we'll get into that. Reform. Lottery reform in the NBA is now official. We'll talk about that coming up in the show. Adam is already rolling his eyes because Adam wants to see a bunch of teams race to the bottom. So we'll talk about that coming up as well. Well, it can't be F&A on FS. It can't be FSR unless we have FSRs. Remember America's House Guest on Big Brother, which I say remember it. It's actually still on, and I only know this because my wife still watches it. She's one of the few people that actually still watch. Before we started dating, she's like, "Oh, I got to watch Big Brother." I was like, "That's still a thing." Yeah.
Survivor in the mix too.
Yeah, it might as well be.
Jeff Probst. I think it was the 50th season.
That's insane. Now, granted, they have like 3 or 4 seasons a year or something. I think is how Survivor works or whatever it is. That's why they have 50. It's not been on for 50 years.
They actually have proven to be the ultimate Survivor. The fact that they're still on the air on network television and doing well. They won. Congrats, Jeff Probst.
Well, they have America's House Guest on Big Brother. We have Fox Sports Radio's house guest and Mark Medina. He's going to join us in the second hour to talk about all of the news and happenings around the NBA, including the Team of Destiny potentially in New York as the Knicks are sitting and waiting yet again to find out who they're going to play in the NBA Finals. And we'll talk about some of the draft reform and lottery as well. We'll talk about Shohei Ohtani and chasing history or just chasing a third championship and what is most important. So we'll talk about that among other things coming up tonight on F&A on FSR.
All right, let's get into it. Well, first off,
Let's go. Let's go time. Let's rock. First off,
the 2 best words in sports. Game 7. Flopping. Okay, that was one word.
Are you on the vendetta against the flop? No. I wasn't going to talk about this, but you did bring it up, and I know there's been a lot of discourse about the Thunder and specifically Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and the egregiousness of his flopping and how it has changed the course of the entire postseason for him and the Oklahoma City Thunder.
I would not go that far. I do think
you'd be the one.
There's plenty of people that find it distracting, obnoxious, annoying, frustrating, hard on the eyes. But then I just saw from NBC a little bit earlier today that this Western Conference Finals has the highest ratings ever. And the NBA's ratings have been up all season long. Some of that is according to the NBA, but I think this, can be verified. And
a lot of this has come from Nielsen. I saw a lot of the game 1 of this series, the epic game 1 that went to double overtime, was the highest rated game 1 of a Western Conference final all the way since, not to bring up bad memories for you, Adam, but since game 1 between the Lakers and Kings in game 1 of the 2002 Western Conference Finals.
Tim Downey, he's on the phone for you.
He better not be. No, he's been on our show before.
Ironically enough, or maybe not ironically enough, the last time that the NBA was on NBC in the Western Conference Finals was back in 2002.
All facts. They're back now. It's Mike Tirico on the call. But I do think there is legitimate criticism on SGA and the flopping going on. I also think it's narrative spinning and it's people taking it and forgetting about the part where OKC is still an elite ball club and one of the best basketball teams I've ever seen. And to make this the story, and I saw, who was it? Jason Williams.
Wait, white chocolate Jason Williams?
No, not limo Jason Williams either.
I wasn't going to bring him up, but yeah.
Who am I thinking of from Duke, who got in the unfortunate accident now on ESPN?
Oh, Jay Williams, the point guard. Yes, played for the Bulls. Yes, Jay Williams.
He did a segment today that was like just completely zoning in on SGA and talking about unethical basketball. And we saw the AI, I guess, board game that really was taking the game operation and placing SGA in there instead. And then if you're going for the basketball and get anything else, you hear that annoying buzzer sound from operation back in the day.
This is the most ridiculous thing that I've heard. First of all, this goes back, and I've invoked this in the past, the old Ice-T lyric, or song, don't hate the player, hate the game. If you truly have an issue with SGA and foul baiting, the people have been complaining about this for years too. They said Kobe did it. James Harden, for the love of God, did it so much, when he was going through his MVP years with the Houston Rockets. If you have an issue with it, don't blame the actual players who are taking advantage of the rule. Blame the institution. Because the NBA, I feel like at the beginning of the season, the last couple of years, we're going to stop all the foul baiting. We're going to start finding guys for flopping, either offensively or defensively, and they never do it. Right. So don't hold it against the players who are taking advantage of a situation that's going to end up ultimately helping their cause. Hold it against the actual NBA, who's not enforcing their own rules that they said that they were going to enforce.
I don't think anybody was fined for a flop all season.
No, they weren't. They were not.
There was no money taken from the players. And what is it, $5,000? For most of them, it's chump change. It's not exactly a way to disincentivize flopping. But the game from Jay Williams today was, his segment, I should say, was called Life Alert with SGA. And he was going through clips of him.
The old lady falling down who can't get up. Okay.
You got to click on that Life Alert.
Yeah.
He invoked Steve Urkel. Help me, I've fallen and I can't get up. Okay. He also was caught last year defending SGA and bringing up all the other guys over the years, like you just did, that were known as flopping. And by the way, a lot of Kobe fans all of a sudden are acting like, no, he was an ethical hooper the entire way. I had to bring up on Twitter the other day, and this really upset some people, that Kobe actually got things changed. Producer Mike doesn't like hearing this. I can tell already. His ears just perked up. Oh, this is his hero. Kobe Bryant was one-sided. They came up with this verbiage to describe what he was doing. Unnatural basketball act. As he was wailing his arm and flailing his arm towards Ginobili, and I think breaking his nose.
They smacked him in the face.
After a jump shot.
Yeah.
Now, he was suspended after that one, but it had been going on for some while. I think guys were complaining about it. And basically, while it was a flop, it was also an intimidation factor. If anyone was close to him while taking a shot, they were going to get hit. That's what time Kobe was on back in the day. So I don't want to hear a damn thing from Kobe Bryant fans talking about SGA. He invented a move that was later described as an unnatural basketball act. And now he was kind of a pioneer in some ways.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now we use that a lot more.
Yeah. It was as blatant. Was what he would do. He would pump fake. He would go up for a shot. And if a player were to strip the ball out of his hands, to your point, he would flail his arms outward all the way across as if he was on a cross, and he would basically smack anybody that was in the periphery.
Yeah.
And because contact would be made, he would try to see if the official would actually call a foul.
What did
he
Homer
would do it all
do
the
in
time.
that one Simpsons episode where he was like chomping towards the donut and he was like, I'm just chomping this direction. If there happens to be a donut that gets in the way, it's going to be eaten type of thing. And then his head, of course, hit the cupboard. It was that type of thing where Kobe thought he had plausible deniability.
And again, if they're going to call it in your favor, then freaking do it. I will be mad if you didn't.
Well,
use whatever you can to your advantage. It's all gamesmanship, and use it until you're not able to use it anymore.
I agree with you, but that doesn't mean fans have to enjoy watching it.
I agree with that. Yes.
And
James Harden has never been enjoyable to watch, to be honest with you, but he was effective. I'll agree to that.
People forget about how bad Dwayne Wade was. In 2006, when they came back down 2-0 in the NBA Finals, taking on the Dallas Mavericks before losing to them with LeBron in 2011. Back in 2006, Dwayne Wade was the lead guy. He had Shaq with him. And I think the last 4 games of that series, he averaged 20 free throw attempts per game.
Mark Cuban almost blew a lid.
Yeah.
He thought the system was rigged against them. He tried to call for an investigation against the officials.
Check this out, though. Dwayne Wade in the 05-06 season, 75 games. So he had 358 field goal attempts total. If we compare this to SGA and how much they're both getting to the basket and how much they're both getting to the free throw line, who do you think took more free throws between the two guys?
Pop quiz, hot shot.
Dwayne Wade in the 05-06 season, back when basketball was so ethical, versus SGA in the 24-25 season, we'll say?
I actually would guess Dwayne Wade, to be honest with you.
Well, that's because you're smart, Kevin.
No.
You knew where I was going with this.
That is correct.
We'll also know that Dwayne Wade, especially at that point in his career, was just relentless in attacking the paint. Not that Shea doesn't, but Shea, I think, has more of a refined offensive outside game than Dwayne Wade at that point in his career did.
Well, check this out. SGA in the 24-25 season, 465 field goal attempts. Excuse me, that was just layup attempts. More than Dwayne Wade. Now, he had less dunks. Wade had 163 dunks compared to 47.
That makes sense.
For
Wade's
SGA.
Better athlete when it comes to that.
We're talking about attacking the basket. SGA actually did more overall, 642 finger rolls, dunks, layups versus 535 in those same categories from Dwayne Wade. And yet Wade averaged almost 2 more free throws per game back then. So this is nothing new.
No, and I'm glad you brought up the paint and how relentless Shea is, and getting to the free throw line and all that. He has not been effective at all in this series and getting into the paint. Now you can say, well, obviously, look who's standing in there.
Yeah,
who would be going against Wemby? But it's even more fascinating. He has not been himself. He has not been greatly efficient in this series, and really the only reason why he has been effective from an offensive standpoint is because he's been able to get to the line. He's gotten to the line because he's been foul baiting on a lot of his mid-range jump shots, which, by the way, he also hasn't been very efficient in scoring in this postseason. Like, him getting to the free throw line is a direct correlation as to why Oklahoma City is even here, to be honest with you. He has not really played well on an individual basis in this series, outside of the fact that he's been able to get to the foul line.
He has gotten to the free throw line. There have been some egregious flops out there, and guys have been studying this. I forget the writer, Tom, whatever his name was. He went through the tape all the guys in the playoffs, extensive work, and found out we can start calling him Dwayne Wade with how much he's flopping. SGA has fallen to the floor 10% more than the next closest guy in that category in the playoffs.
Wow.
Now, this was up through the first 2 rounds, I think. Maybe into game 1 of this series. So there is something to it. And he kind of categorizes it by, when the calls were made, if he was taking a jump shot, if he wasn't, all these things. But the bottom line is there is something to it. It's not nothing. It's not just the eye test. Somebody's actually gone through and ran the numbers with this. But when it comes to defending SGA in this series, as well as the Spurs have, I did see our friend Jason Smith say this last night. He said the physicality the Spurs showed tonight as they went on to must-win Game 6 with SGA might be the blueprint for Game 7, the finals, and how he's going to be played in the playoffs the rest of his career. Love Jason Smith. Didn't hear the segment, but I have to say the Spurs are uniquely equipped to handle a player like SGA because, first of all, they have all these athletic, young point-of-attack defenders out there that can guard him one-on-one, and he can't get that first step on them like he can with most other guys. And then, by the way, if he does happen to get by them, as you mentioned, Wemby is waiting for him in the paint. This is not something that's replicable by all the other teams. Hey, we just came up with this idea. What if we get physical with SGA? Like, teams haven't tried that before.
Now, I will say, and I heard some stats earlier on Friday as well, that just throughout this playoff run, going back to the Phoenix series and even the Lakers series when they swept them, that SGA's efficiency numbers, net rating, his numbers has not matched or come close to where they were in the regular season. And where the people said, the Lakers have a blueprint to slow him down. Now, they didn't have the requisite athletes, but they doubled him a lot. They made things tougher on him. He was still great. The team was still great. But he certainly has not been himself throughout the entire postseason run. And to your point, when you have the schematics along with the talent you have what the San Antonio Spurs have, the impressive thing is that they can quote unquote shut SGA down or make him struggle. And yet they still find themselves with a chance to advance to the NBA Finals tomorrow because Oklahoma City is so good and so deep.
Well, and I would say with the Lakers, it was anybody but SGA We're just going to throw doubles at him the entire time. I thought it was overkill, actually, at time. They should let him try to go one-on-one a little bit more because the other guys were killing them playing off of SGA, and he was really brilliant with his passing and being a playmaker out there, and that's one of the reasons they ended up sweeping the Lakers. It obviously didn't work. San Antonio can guard him one-on-one, and they can stay home on the other guys. And it's really impressive to see a team this young against another team that is still very young. They're just OKC 2.0 in some ways, but the Thunder have the championship pedigree. Problem is they don't have a couple of key players now going into Game 7, Kevin, which could affect everything here.
It could, but the problem is some of these guys, like Jalen Williams came back, but did he really play last game? He played 10 minutes, was greatly ineffective.
I think it was a trial run to see if they could use him in Game 7. Basically, we could afford to lose this game because we got Game 7 back at home. Let's see how he looks. He didn't look good. Minus 18 in 10 minutes.
Yeah, so effectively wasn't there and hasn't been there for the majority of this season, playoffs, regular season, or otherwise. AJ Mitchell has been a huge loss, but he hasn't played the last, 4 games for them, I think it's been anyway. So that tells you it's a testament to the depth that they have, that they can have all of these important players. SGA is struggling, not having AJ Mitchell, not having an all-NBA third-team guy in Jalen Williams, and still find themselves 1 win away from making it back to the NBA Finals. That's a testament to that front office. So I'm not saying that those guys are not big losses, but I'm saying they've been able to win games without those guys being in the lineup.
I think it is going to take a special game, though, from SGA to pull this one out without them, because those are really the only other 2 guys that can create for themselves and others outside of Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Now, if everybody else is just knocking down their shots from the outside, that can be the difference right there. But SGA is going to have to do a lot of getting his own looks and also making sure other guys get their open looks out there. And I think it is going to be an extremely taxing, knockdown, drag-out type of fight. And by the way, for teams that want to play physical brand of basketball, and OKC definitely leans into that, and that has been their advantage. And some think they're getting a little bit more of a friendly whistle out there, and I can see why. But Game 7s usually aren't pretty. They let them play even more in a Game 7 than what we normally see from OKC. They're not going to blow the whistle as much. So, I mean, that should favor them. But if San Antonio actually gets the exact same whistle, which Spurs fans have said, if you call things the same way with us as you do for OKC, it's a completely different ball game. And maybe that's why they blew them out in Game 6 the way they did. Yeah. If they get that whistle in Game 7, it'll be interesting.
The way this series has gone, because honestly, outside of the Game 1 that we referenced, which was an epic all-time double overtime game, this series has pretty much been blowout after blowout all the way through. Like the game has pretty much not been in doubt in the last 5 minutes ever since Game 1.
Yeah.
If we're to be honest. And usually it's been favoring the home team. And we say this all the time, especially in the postseason. Usually the home team not only gets the majority of the calls, but the role players seem to play better at home than they do on the road. So I look at teams like a guy like Alex Caruso, who's been phenomenal in this series in the home games. Yeah. So I would imagine that he's going to be able to step up and play well later tonight. Jared McCain has been spectacular in the home games. So these are role players who have played phenomenally for Oklahoma City Thunder when they've played at home. You mentioned the championship pedigree, having the experience, having the home court advantage. It seems overly simplistic, but based on the fact that they're playing at home and they have that experience and their role players have historically played well, or role players in general historically play well at home in these situations, on top of the fact that San Antonio doesn't have any experience, that's why I'm supremely confident that Oklahoma City ends up winning this game tonight and probably ends up winning it going away, kind of like they did in Game 5.
Vegas agrees with you. They're -3.
Never tell me the odds.
They have them as the favorite, even
might
with
take
the
that 3
injuries going
points.
on. It's not like the Spurs have a healthy De'Aaron Fox right now. He looks like a fraction of himself with a high ankle sprain going on.
And that changes a lot.
It could come down to who plays better between him and Chet Holmgren. Does Chet have his best game of the series in Game 7? That would go a long way for OKC because he's been MIA at times. And look, it's not his fault. He's going up against the better version of himself and Victor Wembanyama, who has an axe to grind against him, going back to like the USA World Games back in the day where he lost to the under-19 team and Chet beat him, and he's still upset about that. Like, I love Wemby's attitude.
I respect it.
I love it's good old fashioned hate.
Don't give in to hate.
Obi-Wan might even be proud of the level of hate that Wemby has. There's a necessary amount, just a little bit of that anger that he holds on to and bitterness that motivates him.
I appreciate that. I love it. Give me all the smoke. I love a little bit of a back and forth between these guys. And I'm really hoping, by the way, I expect Oklahoma City to win going away tonight. I hope that's not the case. I would love for this to be an epic Game 7 that goes down to the wire.
I think it's going to be close, honestly. I do.
Yeah.
I just think the injuries going on with OKC and the Spurs have learned some things. When Dylan Harper plays like he can,
right,
even as a rookie, and he's been banged up too, but he looked much
He looks
better
good.
in Game 6.
Sure did.
That's the X factor to me. If he gets going, if the moment's not too big for him and Castle cuts down on the turnovers, I think San Antonio has a real shot, especially if Wemby, he hit those 2 3-pointers to start Game 6 right away. And you could just tell there was an edge with him. And, I am not letting us lose this game. And then post game, he acted like and basically said, we haven't done anything yet. We've done nothing yet. So they have the mentality, but OKC has the pedigree. They have the championship experience. I will say OKC by a little bit. I'll take OKC, but I think it's going to be really close. I think it is going to come down to some shot making from 3. And as you mentioned, and producer Mike mentioned a little bit earlier, those role players, Jared McCain, he's had those coming out parties at home. OKC will be able to defend it.
Yep. So we'll see what happens coming up later tonight. Coming up next year on FIA and FSR, there's been a seismic shift in the NBA and the way that they conduct the draft lottery. Is it for better or for worse? We'll talk about that coming up next. F&A on FSR.
The NBA playoffs are here. Let's go. Follow us on social media for reactions.
Hands in the air!
Breakdowns, articles, and more. Round by round, game by game. At Fox Sports Radio.
What's up, fools? Main event Jey Uso here from the WWE. When it's just me between matches, it's day one-ish. And that means it's Chumba time. With hundreds of casino-style games and new titles arriving weekly, there's always something fresh to try at Chumba Casino. The daily boosts make it even more fun. And have me about to get them all during my downtime. Ready for a fun way to chill out and enjoy a few minutes for yourself? Let's Chumba.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. See T's and C's. 21 plus. Sponsored by Chumba
Thinking
Casino.
about starting your GLP-1 journey? Go to orderlymeds.com/radio. Get access to proven GLP-1 medications, licensed providers, and a plan built for real life. All online. No guesswork, no wasted time. Just real people, real answers, real momentum, and support that actually lasts. Join thousands already seeing results. Start now at orderlymeds.com/radio. orderlymeds.com/radio. Individual results may vary, not medical advice. Eligibility required. See site for details.
Did you know we're on YouTube? Fox Sports Radio. You can find all of your favorite shows on YouTube.
Look at us. We're waving at you right now.
Did you know that you can find the best clips and the best videos from your favorite shows?
All the interviews, clips, everything is there.
This is why you're the smartest listeners in the world.
Completely agree.
Because you went to YouTube and you searched Fox Sports Radio. And you were the ones that hit the subscribe button and the notification bell. You're the ones that watch videos from Two Pros and a Cup of Joe with Jonas Knox, Brady Quinn, and LeVar Arrington.
You can't even make this up.
Dan Patrick, Colin Cowherd, Stu Gatz and Company. Live.
It's so good.
Cavino and Rich. Ooh, yeah. The Odd Couple with Rob Parker and Kelvin Washington. The Jason Smith Show with Mike Harmon.
Think about that for a second.
And the Ben Maller Show. Fox Sports Radio. On YouTube.
Wow.
By searching Fox Sports Radio.
Check us out on YouTube. Subscribe. Hit that thumbs up icon and comment away.
So you ended up going with OKC, huh?
You have unfiled taxes or are in debt to the IRS? This is important news. Did you know the IRS has programs specifically designed to help people struggling with tax debt? Powerful tax assistance programs that can save you thousands if you qualify. No one knows these programs better than the experts at Optima Tax Relief.
So you decided to go with
America's most
OKC
trusted
ultimately,
tax
huh?
resolution firm, A-rated by the Better Business Bureau. Their award-winning tax attorneys and licensed professionals have resolved over $3 billion of tax debt for their clients. One call to Optima can start the process, helping to put an end to your worries about wage garnishment, asset seizure, and other aggressive IRS actions. Find the best options to solve your tax problems. Call the experts at Optima Tax Relief
Adam,
today
can you hear me?
for a free consultation.
Call 800-627-7754. 800-627-7754.
You can hear me, right?
754.
Okay. So you decided to go with OKC ultimately, huh?
Optima tax relief.
How could you root for Shea, man? How did the Clippers trade Shea?
It's Ben Maller.
It's the gas bag on the radio who is tossing verbal raspberries at you.
Your late night getaway. The big dog.
Big.
Got it?
I disagree.
Good.
So I have abstract art, Fisher Price, and the mighty Zoltar.
What the hell did he just say?
It's the Ben Maller Show.
What kind of acid was someone on when they cooked this up?
Listen on the overnights, 2 a.m. Eastern, 11 p.m. Pacific, right here on Fox Sports Radio.
Yeah.
I'm going to prove all the doubters.
When Dan Patrick speaks,
Yeah.
you better stop and listen. Yeah. This is the Dan Patrick Show.
Kirby Smart, the Georgia head coach, was talking about how many teams do we need in the playoffs? 24 teams. Now there's talk that maybe the SEC takes its ball and goes home and secede from college football, which I don't really want to have the SEC and the word secede together.
That's cool.
Hey, we're gonna have our own football conference here. This just feels like, okay, everybody caught up with the SEC to the Big Ten did. I don't want to say everybody. And now the SEC is like, wait a minute here. What's going on? Well, you're not doing what you were able to do, and nobody else could do that before. You got 3 of the top 5 recruiting classes are in the Big Ten. Oregon and USC are 1 and 2. The Big Ten has the last 3 national titles, 4-0 against the SEC in the last 3 seasons head-to-head in college football playoffs. The money with NIL changed everything here. That pipeline, hey, you're going to get these guys, they're going to go to your school. That's not the case anymore. Indiana won a national championship. And because of that, everybody has to think, if you have a quality football program, why not us? And the SEC still stands alone as the best conference, top to bottom. But I think things have changed. I don't know if it's changed and it's not coming back. Because as my college football source said,
if you want to know what Dan Patrick said next, just podcast it by searching The Dan Patrick Show. And as always, you can listen to Dan Patrick live weekdays, 9 a.m. Eastern, 6 a.m. Pacific on Fox Sports Radio. I did. It's Dan Patrick. Yeah, him. You trust Dan. You need Dan.
Nobody needs to know that.
Because without Dan, mornings just wouldn't be the same.
This is guaranteed to go wrong. Horribly wrong. Absolutely.
It's the Dan Patrick Show. Need I say more?
Shut up. Yeah. That, to me, was a little cringeworthy there.
Listen weekdays at 9 a.m. Eastern, 6 a.m. Pacific. Right here.
I want publicity.
On Fox Sports Radio. We're for you. We're here for you.
I can't let this audience down.
That's why we're giving back.
How wonderful. Bringing it to the entire nation.
Oh, yeah.
Keep this in mind.
We're giving you the best sports and entertainment on your platforms.
Right? Because that's how we operate.
It's about the consistency.
Every day. That's the truth.
Whether it's through your speakers, podcast, or social, we're giving back on Fox Sports Radio. To find FS1 on your television, go to foxsports.com for details.
Go! Check them out.
FS1.
Check them out.
FS1.
What are you doing down here?
F&A, Cotton, F&A. It is F&A on FSR. Be sure to subscribe to the Fox Sports Radio YouTube channel. Just search Fox Sports Radio on YouTube and you'll see our best videos from all of our shows. Hit the thumbs up icon, comment away, let us know whose takes you agree with and those you don't. Just search Fox Sports Radio on YouTube and subscribe.
I may have disagreed with Jason Smith's take from yesterday, but that does not mean I don't love him all the same, Kevin. Okay?
I love you, man.
There's no beef. There's no war here. But there may be in this very segment because we got to talk about the 3-2-1 lottery that has been implemented. Unsurprisingly, it was a shoo-in, a given that it was going to pass.
Near unanimous. The one dissenting vote was the Memphis Grizzlies, who, of course, had a stake in this situation because of a trade that they made. So
Yeah, they got screwed. And we'll talk about that. But basically, in reading Sham's tweet, the 3-2-1 lottery is named to represent the amount of lottery balls per team now. Teams with a bottom 3 record, the relegation zone, have only 2 lottery balls. Teams that do not qualify for the playoffs or play in tournament in spots 4 through 10 receive 3 lottery balls. So all of a sudden they are punishing teams for being the worst in the league.
Correct.
I don't know how I feel about that.
You don't?
No, because I honestly, there are a handful of games every year that we talk about and are like, oh, that team was definitely tanking. Oh, they were tanking. Oh, something could happen here. And the Jazz have been fined in back-to-back years, deservedly, and it wasn't much of a deterrent. Obviously, $100,000 the first time, $500,000 the second time.
And we are granted a ways removed from it, but there was a 4-year period where the Philadelphia 76ers unapologetically told everybody that they were going to try to lose as many games as possible.
Do you want to know why the draft is not fixed? You want to know what's proof of that?
Was the fix in?
I mean, every time we get a generational player, they end up going to Cleveland or San Antonio. San Antonio twice over with Tim Duncan and Victor Wembanyama. I don't know.
People think with Wemby that was the fix was in for that or whatever.
How?
But
Who? Why? Why would they ever
First of all-
funnel a star player? No disrespect to our friends in San Antonio, but why would they funnel a star player to San Antonio?
If anybody has any idea how the last draft was done before they changed it, it's near impossible unless everybody in the room had like some augmented reality going on with how foolproof the system was. But
And people might not understand for what Adam is talking about. Tons of media members go into a room. They're cordoned off. They give their cell phones away, and they sit there and listen to all these crazy number combinations get called out.
4 numbers.
There's no way for it to be fixed unless literally, what are there, like 30 people in the room? I might be exaggerating a little bit. Unless they're all in on it.
Well, and in on it would mean it would have to be like they were watching AI or something that was funny with the video. And really, we didn't have that type of technology, 15 years ago. This has been going on for some time.
And by the way, Mark Medina, our friend and colleague who's going to be on the show here in about a half hour, has been in that room
it's like
multiple times.
You think, oh, they're getting paid off. That's why Dallas got the first pick because they were in on it, and the Lakers had to get the best player in Luka Doncic to help the league. And Dallas was given a sweetheart deal that they'll get Cooper Flag. It's like, well, all the other teams would have to be in on that too.
Right.
How do you think Brooklyn's feeling? Where they haven't had a top 5 pick the past 2 years, even though they've been one of the worst teams in the league. Don't you think there'd be a whistleblower there if they were getting screwed over and over again? What do they care about what happened for the Dallas Mavericks? But anyways, the fact that the Utah Jazz got the second pick this year after shamelessly tanking at the end of the last 2 seasons, you think if it was fixed, Adam Silver would let them get the second pick?
Evening, Commissioner.
Unless he's playing chess at him and he wants people to think that he wouldn't do that. This is how insane people are. The stakes are too high. There's too much money involved.
This is not the UFO files on the History Channel or whatever.
Yeah, there's too many people that are too self-serving that to actually try to tank or to actually try to be a part of some sort of conspiracy theory when it comes to this thing.
I do think, though, that there are some real drawbacks. First of all, the point of a draft is to give the worst teams a fair chance to get better. Now, some of those teams had self-inflicted wounds where they were poorly managed for a long time. But then, new regimes come in, new front offices. Should they always have to pay for the sins of the fathers? And there are teams that organically suck. There are teams that just suck because they suck. And now when that happens, let's say they have a real bad injury. Like, I don't know, this year with Indiana, they didn't have Tyrese Halliburton the entire season. They ended up with good draft lottery odds. Their pick ends up going to the Clippers, thankfully.
Yeah, they made a trade that hurt their own cause when it came to that.
But there are teams that aren't necessarily trying to tank. They just aren't good enough. They've had a lot of bad fortune with injuries, with guys not living up to expectations, with getting a high pick in the wrong draft. Not everybody's getting a Wemby.
Sure, but I mean,
it
you look at-
matters.
there are teams. I mean, and because I've heard this argument too, is like, well, if you're a small market team and you don't draw a bunch of free agents, you have to, you basically have no way of being able to get out of hell without being able to find a game changer in the draft. And if you're bad, my thing is, I look at a team like Washington, if you have been as bad as they've been for as long as they've been this bad, and they've had the top overall pick once in the past 13 years, something like that. But you've had enough picks within the top 12. I mean, Giannis, and granted, I'm cherry picking here, but Giannis is like the 15th overall pick. You're telling me you've been this bad for this long, and you can't find one or two impact players that can help bring you out of horrible to mediocre over a 13-year period?
But what do we always?
That's poor management.
What do we always say though with the NBA though, Kevin? You don't want to be in the middle. You want to be really good or really bad, because you can get stuck in the middle forever in this NBA game. And
you could, or you can be savvy and try to. I mean, the Knicks were in the middle for a little bit and made some trades, and all of a sudden they find themselves in the NBA Finals.
They did a great job. There are always examples and outliers, but I do think there are some real issues with teams striking out forever and ever. Now, first of all, this is only a 3-year thing. They
Correct.
can revise it before the 2030 draft.
And I'm sure it's going to be revised in some way, shape, or form
Right.
in 3 years when this thing can change.
So, to cut long story short, I do think it'll be interesting to see how this goes. First of all, a lot of the tanking this season was also because there is a generational draft going on. At least people think so.
Yeah.
But when everyone talks about, well, we have to get a top 10 pick, or Washington, as you mentioned, had so many top 10 picks or top 12 picks and they couldn't get anybody, because it's bleeping hard. I looked at from 2006 to 2016 over a 10-year period of the top 10 picks. So that's 100 picks over a 10-year period. And only 25 of those, so only 25% of those guys went on to become all-stars in the top 10 over a 10-year period. It's just, and the amount of guys that we thought were going to be something and weren't, and the best scouts in the world, you can't predict any of this stuff. There's so much randomness going on.
There is, to a degree, but then you look at teams like Oklahoma City, and granted, you end up trading for Shea, you get Chet Holmgren, but I mean, a lot of guys, Jalen Williams, who they took with the Clippers pick, was 12th? I mean, you look at their draft picks over the last 8 to 9 years, and there's guys that they drafted that didn't even play for them, and they flipped other places that turned out to be great players. Like, if you have the right infrastructure in front office and the right scouting staff, you can find the right guys. You can do it.
If only everyone else could be Sam Presti. It's like, he's a once-in-a-generation type of GM. He's brilliant. That's why they might dominate the league the next 10 years.
So there's nobody else that either under him or you can't find. I mean, this goes like the Tampa Bay Rays. They lost Andrew Friedman, and I know it's a different sport, but to a certain degree, it's kind of the same situation. You have a different philosophy. You have to find different ways to be able to compete. The NBA, their stated goal, what they didn't want to do is have a bunch of teams tanking and not trying to win basketball games, because it's just a bad product. We can talk about, whether teams are competitive and trying to win and all that, but one thing I look at, the aspect that people don't talk about, is that it actually ends up determining playoff races. Like this past season, not so much. Last year, the Western Conference, there were 3.5 games that separated the 2 seed from the 9 seed. And if you're playing the Utah Jazz or the Dallas Mavericks or a terrible team 3 times in the last month of the season, that can flip your odds. You can go from being a play-in team to being the 2nd seed in the Western Conference based on the fact that you're playing a team that's not even trying to be competitive and trying to win. That's important. Stuff like that matters.
I think it's a fair point. I also think it's fair to point out tanking's been going on forever, and the NBA didn't start caring until they got in bed with the gambling companies. And now all of a sudden, when guys are resting in fourth quarters, like Lauri Markkanen, out of nowhere, or Jaren Jackson Jr., the NBA all of a sudden wants to crack down hard on tanking. You mentioned the process before. That was a while ago.
There was public outcry about the process, and you're right. They never did anything about it. But it's not as if it's not that people didn't care.
No.
The fans, the public, absolutely
I'm not saying they didn't, but the NBA all of a sudden cracking down, I don't know if that's a coincidence, honestly.
Probably not. And look, we know how all of these are driven in general, professional sports or businesses otherwise. If it's going to affect the bottom line, then you're going to make the change.
Well,
we talk about the Magic City night in Atlanta. The NBA didn't say anything for a week and a half until somebody, the right person, said something to them. and they're like, oh, no, we can't allow this to happen.
Yeah.
We know how these things go.
They're reactionary. They want to get the pulse of the people. Then they'll make a decision based on court of public opinion sometimes.
I don't even know if it's a public opinion, Adam. I don't think they really care that much about public opinion. I think it goes to your point. They care about the bottom line.
Well,
if the wrong sponsor or the right sponsor says, fix it, they're going to fix it.
I'm saying if public opinion also influences the bottom line, that's when they'll start caring too.
Yeah.
But I care. Who cares about the Memphis Grizzlies getting totally screwed out of just a stupid rule here? Because you can no longer get a top 5 pick 3 years in a row.
Right.
And Utah has had a top 5 pick the last 2 years. Well, their pick this year, because of the Jaren Jackson Jr. trade, is going to Memphis. And now that pick can't be in the top 5
and see,
because technically it's still with Utah until draft night. Like, this is ridiculous.
This is where they should have sunsetted this thing, or they should have said, like, okay, we're going to incorporate this next year, but trades that have already, and the problem too with the NBA is a lot of these trades are made 8 years in advance or whatever it is. So it's really hard to hem it in. But I mean, you can't just automatically change it overnight, and then how it affects deals that were made 4 years in the past. That's the hard part. It's almost as if you have to say, we have to make this change, but we need to do it next year or in 2 years or something like that.
Well,
because teams are going to get screwed over, like you mentioned.
Memphis was the lone team that did not vote for draft reform. It was 29-1 in favor. And Memphis, rightfully so. I feel bad for them. Do they make that trade if they had known this? I don't know. That's huge.
Yeah, one thing too, from a competitive balance standpoint, I know we have to go, Mark. We haven't seen the ripple effects because it's only been a couple of years. I do think the new apron system is really going to end up affecting, how teams built their teams, how they maintain their teams, and how teams in the bottom or the middle actually end up improving. I mean, we're going to see it this offseason. Denver's going to have to make some tough choices. Oklahoma City's going to have to make some tough choices. And those players are going to have to end up going somewhere. Now, are they going to go to middling contenders and make them legit contenders? Or are they going to go to bad teams and make those bad teams into contenders? I think this, coupled with the tax apron system over the next 4 or 5 years, is actually going to kind of change the dynamic of the NBA and team building.
I think it makes it even harder, honestly, for teams that have to hit with every draft because you don't know when that next time's coming where you got a top 5 pick. Because
I think you can make it easier if you're poaching a good player from a contender who just can't afford to keep him anymore.
I don't see the league going in that direction. Like, nobody's like, who's lost out on a guy that is legitimately that good because of the new salary cap?
It just started 2 years ago. I said it's going to take a few years for it to happen.
Okay. Well, we'll see.
It's only been a couple of years. I mean,
OKC
it's going to
could end up losing J-Dub or something like that.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I think we're going to look back on this, and it's not going to look pretty for a lot of teams.
The Spurs, are they going to be able to keep Castle and Harper and all these guys together? 4 years from now, it's going to end up affecting them, and one of those guys is going to go somewhere.
That's fair.
It's a long-term play.
Are they going to end up going to really bad teams and small markets? I don't know.
If they're getting traded there, sure. Yeah. That's the way for small markets to rise their level up.
If they're getting traded there. But if teams are holding on to picks more now because they're more uncertain with them, are they going to be more willing to trade? Are they going to be more covetous of those picks?
It's going to depend.
I really think this could be something with some real unintended consequences here. But I don't necessarily mind shaking it up because we can do it for 3 years and see what happens and go a different direction afterwards.
I agree. What's coming up next? We got Stranger Than Fiction?
Oh, Stranger Than Fiction. A follow-up on last week's story. More cougar talk?
I thought you might do
mountain
this.
lion talk? I thought I was going to have something else, but there was breaking news today. In Stranger Than Fiction, more animals attacks news coming up next here on FNA on Fox Sports Radio.
We talk, and you love to listen.
Awesome. Love hearing you guys. Full of laughs, man. Love it.
Now you can look. Look at that. Look at him.
Yo, what's up? I'm Kelvin.
Look at them.
Tom Brady is the man.
Don't turn away.
Take a closer look.
Fox Sports Radio. YouTube. Look.
If you have unfiled taxes or are in debt to the IRS, this is important news. Did you know the IRS has programs specifically designed to help people struggling with tax debt? Powerful tax assistance programs that can save you thousands if you qualify. No one knows these programs better than the experts at Optima Tax Relief, America's most trusted tax resolution firm, A-rated by the Better Business Bureau. Their award-winning tax attorneys and licensed professionals have resolved over $3 billion of tax debt for their clients. One call to Optima can start the process, helping to put an end to your worries about wage garnishment, asset seizure, and other aggressive IRS actions. Find the best options to solve your tax problems. Call the experts at Optima Tax Relief today for a free consultation.
Call 800-627-7754. 800-627-7754. 800-627-7754.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Check it out. The Herd. When Colin Cowherd drops the info, The Herd, you need to listen.
Right here.
All right, so Aaron Rodgers went out and said, hey, this is going to be the last season. And so I always felt when Aaron was in his prime, because he was such a pretty player. I mean, I always thought Elway was better than Marino, but Marino was prettier. The aesthetic, the way he let go of the ball, his release. I mean, Marino was just like magical to watch. Same with Aaron Rodgers. And I don't think Favre's the comp. I always thought Aaron's comp was Dan Marino. You want more titles, you want more trophies, right? Marino didn't get any. Aaron got one. But, God, they're beautiful throwers of the football. I mean, Aaron, throws with his feet not on the ground. It's like a magician. It's wild. But I always thought he was a little overvalued in his prime, where people were saying he's better than Brady. I'm like, Brady's stacking trophies. What are we doing here? This is not baseball where we care about your stats. It's football. Show me your Lombardis. But now I think Aaron's actually massively undervalued. So I want to remind everybody, especially the media that keeps telling me he's washed. He did win the AFC North last year over a stacked roster in Baltimore and Lamar Jackson and Joe Burrow, who played a handful of games, but he did win the North. By the way, at 41, he almost threw as many touchdown passes as Bo Nix, Josh Allen, and Sam Darnold with an awful receiving corps. In fact, Aaron was the only quarterback in the league with this stat line. At least 65% completion percentage, at least 24 touchdowns, and 7 or fewer interceptions. He was the only guy in the league. Bad receiving corps, broken offensive culture.
If you're eager to find out what Colin said next, just podcast it by searching The Herd. And as always, you can listen live to Colin Cowherd weekdays at noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific on Fox Sports Radio. And now, Steve Covino.
Oh, boy.
Rich Davis. This is Covino and Rich.
Kyler Murray is getting a generous second shot here, where some are like, Kyler Murray stunk in Arizona. I mean, he had 1 year, right? There was 1 year where it was like, ooh, this is going in the right direction. But other than that, his time in Arizona will not be remembered as positive, right? I mean,
the only thing he has on McCarthy at this point is more reps, more snaps.
Yeah. Listen, J.J. McCarthy comes from the Jim Harbaugh, Michigan blueprint, where Jim Harbaugh raved about him.
He's a winner.
He raved the attitude, everything about him. And then you look at Kyler Murray, could have played baseball, could have played football, the athlete, the all-around athlete. And I wonder where you look at those two now, where it looks like Kyler hasn't worked out in the NFL so far. And JJ hasn't. And JJ hasn't had a great start. So are they sort of equal in your mind, Covino?
They're sort of equal.
Covino and Rich, weekdays at 5 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Pacific on Fox Sports Radio. This is Stu Gatz and Company live.
The audience wants this.
You're listening to Stu Gatz and Company live.
The fixing thing is funny because they fix it every 27 years. If they want the Knicks in the NBA Finals, they'd be fixing it every season. Right. The Jets would have made a Super Bowl. I mean,
right. So we have to. We'll fix it. We talked to God. We figured this out. But you have to deal with Isaiah Thomas and Stephon Marbury and Jerome James and Amari Stoudemire, and you're gonna have a 2-week run of Linsanity. That's it. But we'll get you a title appearance in 27 years. Everyone good with this? Everyone good? Like, all right? Like, what?
Okay, yes, we are fixing it. We're going to put the smallest market in the NBA in the NBA Finals and have them.
They're our dynasty.
They're a dynasty.
Well, that's what they'll say. The fixers go, well, that's how they can't make it too obvious because they can't mix the finals every year. So they go, okay, well, who can we put? We'll put the smallest market that nobody cares about, and they'll put the Knicks. See?
Stu Gatz and Company live is right here. Weekdays, 3 Eastern, noon Pacific on Fox Sports Radio. Are you using the talkback feature on the iHeartRadio app? It's the button that looks like a microphone, which allows you to talk to us. Press it, record your message, and fire it off.
Rose Bowl game.
It's simple and intuitive.
Broadcast on radio.
On second thought, perhaps some people are confusing it with a smart speaker prompt.
Texas and Arizona.
Pretty sure that's what's happening.
Texas and Arizona football game.
Fox Sports Radio is at your fingertips on the iHeartRadio app. FS1. To find FS1 on your television, go to foxsports.com for details. FS1. Go to foxsports.com for details.
Do we look like the two dumbest guys in the world to you?
F&A, Cotton, F&A.
It is F&A on FSR coming up in about 10 minutes or so. Fox Sports Radio NBA insider Mark Medina going to join us, talk about Game 7 coming up later tonight in the Western Conference Finals. Knicks wait and see who they're going to end up facing and talk about this 3-2-1 lottery reform. But first, let's get to it, Adam.
A fast food customer defending her decision to call 911 after her McDonald's ran out of McNuggets.
You can't give a drunk man riding a horse a DWI because, unlike cars, horses don't have motors. They have a mind of their own.
Strange things began to happen.
A 24-year-old man accused of throwing an alligator through a drive-through window.
911, what is your emergency? It's too hard.
Stranger than fiction.
So last week in Stranger Than Fiction, we had a little mountain lion in Pasadena.
No, just a
crapping.
little one, huh? Yeah.
The crap wasn't little on the roof of the guest house.
Uh-huh.
Kevin said that was fine, though, because it's close to where I live and not where he lives. He's not concerned about my well-being here.
Oh, not in the least, but you'll be fine.
Now, I don't have an update on that skinny-ass mountain lion that looked pretty hungry, but there's a new one. Maybe closer to Kevin this time. Maybe just a little bit.
Slightly closer, yes.
Yes. Further away from me, thank goodness. Earlier today, Junior, in Santa Monica, California, a cougar shut down an entire neighborhood block as residents were told to stay indoors as the cat was seen in the bushes of someone's home near 14th Street and Montana Avenue. The police blocked an alley. They put up caution tape. Multiple streets were closed. Wildlife officials were working round clock. Like, do I need a
The sound drop is very unsettling, Mark. I just have to say.
Oh, there's a good news.
Oh, there is?
There's some good news.
Oh, good. All right. Because I hadn't seen an update on this story within the last 5 hours or so, to be honest with you. So
I've been watching this. I've been glued to news for this more so than anything.
I'm sure
over the last couple of years. Honestly, I'm like wondering, do I need a concealed weapon permit with my BB gun or my pellet gun? Can I get that in LA?
I don't know, to be honest with you.
I feel like the mountain lions, they're triangulating towards my exact location. They're coming for me, Kevin.
Now they're not a protected species, are they? Right? Like you can take a BB gun to a cougar that comes after you, right? I don't know what the rules are on that.
Exactly.
Because our friend Petros Papadakis has talked about going after peacocks in his neighborhood, and that hasn't gone too well when it comes to the local municipality. So
yeah, they wouldn't like that. But this ended with a positive here. The cops in Santa Monica hit it with a tranquilizer a few hours ago and are taking it safely back to its natural habitat, this mountain lion in Santa Monica. And a seedy bar with the rest of the cougars is what I'm talking about with that natural habitat nearby. No,
that's minute. Adam, I told you last week off the air about there was a similar situation in Santa Monica, and this is in 3rd Street. Like this was like downtown bars and restaurants and all and stores, and it was running, jumping off of balconies. This had to have been about 10 years or so ago. Middle of the day, like noon. It was the wildest thing I'd ever seen.
Yeah, I'm expecting to see one at some point. It also doesn't help that I'm close to the
30.
So I'm like looking for a Bengal tiger in the bushes where I'm at. There's going to be a black rhino that runs through my neighborhood. But
you're the
something.
crazy cat man, though, right? The cats are your friends, Adam. So you're fine.
I'm the cat man.
Yeah.
Hey, you would think, like, hey, I'm friends with some of your buddies. We're cool, right? Those are your cat cousins over here.
10.
Hop me up, Mountain Lion.
Those cats are my snacks, and you're the main courses.
5 seconds.
Coming up next, the main course. Mark Medina here on FNA on Fox Sports Radio.
Professional wrestling fans, the action continues every week. Watch TNA Thursday Night Impact every week on AMC.
It is like electricity flowing through your veins.
Don't miss the adrenaline, the drama, and the total non-stop action.
No one can ever be as good as this right here.
Don't miss the action of TNA Thursday Night Impact every week on AMC. For showtimes and more information, visit TNAWrestling.com.
Drew McIntyre here from WWE. Wielding the Claymore can be a life of chaos. When I'm not dominating in the ring, Chumba Casino is how this warrior takes a wee break. With hundreds of online social games and new weekly releases, there's always something fresh to try. And those daily boosts, next level. Even my free time feels like Valhalla. So when life feels like a battle, kick up your feet, have some fun, and let's Chumba.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. See T's and C's. 21 plus. Sponsored by Chumba Casino.
FS1. To find FS1 on your television, go to foxsports.com for details. FS1. Go to foxsports.com for details. Jason Smith and Mike Harmon are dropping knowledge like this.
These guys are sick, man.
The league's board of governors has voted to expand the lottery and address the tanking problem, right? This is a story that we've been talking about for the last couple of weeks. There's going to be a new format that expands the lottery from 14 to 16 teams. The new 3-2-1 lottery format is put together so the teams that finish with the worst 3 records in the NBA don't have as many ping pong balls in as the teams that finish 4th through 7th, right? So that's kind of what the NBA is doing here, and they think, hey, this is going to take care of tanking. Okay, let me just say this. This isn't going to put a dent in tanking because teams know going in, we don't have the greatest chance, but as long as there's a chance, we're choosing the lottery, right? You saw middle of the season this year, how many teams decided we're putting this away? When the calendar turns to January, we get towards the All-Star break, yeah, you know what, not our year. We're going for the lottery. We can't win. We're going for the lottery because maybe we can get in the top 5. It's basically a 5-person draft this year. If we can get a top 5 pick, we get a new superstar. That's worth it for us. Or teams that decide, hey, it's worth it for us to get a Cooper Flag at the very top of the draft. It doesn't matter how many ping pong balls you give me. As long as I'm in the lottery, I'm ready to take my chances with that because it's still, I have a smaller chance, but there's still a chance I have that I can pick in the top 3, that I can get the number 1 overall pick, that the ping pong balls are going to go my way. This is not going to affect tanking at all. Teams are still going to proceed like they did this year, which is, oh, okay, yeah, we can be in the lottery. No one's sitting here saying.
To get the rest of what Jason Smith and Mike Harmon said, podcast it by searching The Jason Smith Show with Mike Harmon. And as always, you can hear The Jason Smith Show with Mike Harmon weeknights at 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific, right here on Fox Sports Radio. Right now, the Dan Patrick Show.
Dan Patrick.
Becky Hammond, the Aces head coach in the WNBA, she had said that Jalen Brunson, short guys don't win championships, basically. I guess the point is, can you have a short guy as your best player? Like Iverson. Iverson got to the NBA Finals. Brunson's got to the NBA Finals. You're not winning or losing because you have a guy who's 6 feet, 6'1". He can help you win. Is Steph Curry a short guy? Like, what is a short guy? We know in society what a short guy is. In the NBA, is Steph Curry a short guy? I guess. But you've got to have a team around you. Jalen Brunson has a really good team around him. He is great. I don't know if I would have said Jalen Brunson can't win a title, I would have said the Knicks can't win a title.
The Dan Patrick Show.
Dan and the Danettes and you.
Weekdays, 9 a.m. Eastern, 6 Pacific on Fox Sports Radio. Jason Smith.
You ready?
Mike Harmon.
And that's it.
We've put the sports world on notice.
We're going to do our thing.
We've taken two of the best to disrupt the status quo.
That's not a bad idea.
Do you agree, Mike Harmon?
Oh, hell yeah. Good for them.
Did we mention they're best friends?
Smith and I, we butt heads about a lot of things.
They both need help.
It's the Jason Smith Show with Mike Harmon. Weeknights at 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific on Fox Sports Radio. FS1. To find FS1 on your television, go to foxsports.com for details. FS1. Go to foxsports.com for details. And here's what you need to know.
The Dodgers won their 6th in a row, 4-2 over Philadelphia, beating Zach Wheeler, who gave up 4 solo homers. Seattle in 10 innings ended Arizona's 5-game winning streak 7-6. Milwaukee won in 10 at Houston. The White Sox won on a 10th inning homer against Detroit. Mets hit a 10th inning homer to beat Miami. Pittsburgh on a bottom of the 9th 2-run shot won 6-5 over Minnesota. The Yankees won their 5th straight game, 8-2 at the A's. Colorado hit 2 homers bottom of the 9th, got 5 runs late to beat San Francisco 8-6. That ends a 5-game losing streak for the Rockies. Atlanta and St. Louis with victories, San Diego and Toronto as well. The Blue Jays were down 5-0 at Baltimore going to the 7th, 6-5 Jays the final. In the NHL, Carolina wrapped up the East in 5 games, beating Montreal 6-1. Oklahoma City's Jalen Williams out Game 7 Saturday night. I'm Steve DeSager.
Let's begin, shall we?
F&A.
Let me tell you something.
Kevin Figures.
My entire take here is moved.
Adam Osley.
There's a conversation to be had.
Yep, he's locked in.
Oh, yeah. They're kicking the weekend off. It's F&A.
Point well taken.
Sound good?
That is so exciting.
Yeah! Live from the Fox Sports Radio studios, here's F&A. Kevin Figures and Adam Osley.
That's right. Hour 2 of F&A on FSR. Hit us up on X at KFig1 is where you can find me. Adam is at Follow Adam A, and we are at F&A Show. Thank you guys for joining us once again.
I'm happy too.
Are you?
I'm very happy, Kevin. Thanks to everyone for joining us.
You sound like Nick Saban. Yeah, I'm happy as hell.
What was the line he had? Stop asking me. I ain't telling.
You told me to quit asking.
Quit asking.
To Maria Taylor on the sideline a few years ago. Yes.
You know, that was a little bit rude. I got to say, he was really upset there.
Rude. Hopefully our next guest won't say the same thing about us. He's like, you asked me that damn question 2 weeks ago. Quit asking. But I feel like our next guest is pretty nice. He wouldn't do that to us.
That was good, too.
Phone's ringing, dude.
Thank you, Donnie.
Well, he's magnanimous. He has a level of humility about him while also having all the knowledge up in that cranium to break down the NBA playoffs, the draft lottery system changing. He's the total package. The meat, the potatoes, the appetizer, the dessert. Type of guy a mountain lion would love to find in Santa Monica. Sorry. No, he's too skinny. He's too skinny. It's Mark Medina calling in on FNA on Fox Sports Radio, NBA expert. Mark, thanks for doing this.
Adam, Kevin, thanks for having me. I feel like you're gassing me up so much that you're setting me up for failure here.
No. You deserve it all. You had this coming.
Too great to fail.
Now, let's see if I can gas you up. I'm really just buttering you up before I stick the knife in, because Kevin and I were disagreeing about something a little bit earlier, even though I kind of agree with him, about the new draft lottery system. And I want you to take my side here. So I think there's going to be some unintended consequences. I think it's an overreaction, but also I can't freak out too much about it because it could all be gone in 3 years anyways. So I'm not going to overreact too much either. Do you think this was something pressing, above flopping, above stars and player participation policy that the NBA had to get fixed? And do you like the draft reform that's going on?
Well, they definitely need to reform it, but I don't think it was a major priority compared to, all the other issues. I mean, not to stick a knife in your back, Adam, but I would argue that the NBA investigation with aspirations more important just to get clarity on that. The betting scandals, but yeah.
Cut this guy off right
Exactly. Adam's like, what investigation? What do you mean?
Well, it's not just that. It's all the investigation, the betting scandals, the FBI probing, all that stuff. But yeah, it is important, but it did feel like it came from a place of there's extreme tanking. Let's make an example out of teams. It's a distraction. And this extreme tanking has happened because this NBA draft class is expected to be really, really good. I mean, there are some people I've been talking to these last few weeks that say this could be the best draft class since 1996. We know how great that draft class is. And so with these new rules, it's interesting because I don't think teams were going to be tanking as much these next few seasons anyway. So the behavior would have already been modified. But when they do add a rule, the behavior is automatically modified. But the problem here, guys, is when you add these rules, like they're very arcane, they're very confusing. And so I get the 3-2-1 concept in theory that, you can't be repeat defenders, but everything else seems very hard to comprehend. And I think as a result, it's going to create more problems than solve them.
Oh, Kevin thinks he's got it all figured out, I guess, huh?
I wouldn't go that far. I just think that it encourages teams for it incentivizes them to try to win. And you have teams that are at the bottom of the standings. And all of a sudden there's late season games. And all of a sudden you have a team like the Kings or the Mavericks who are playing out the string instead of tanking. They're actually trying to win a game to actually improve their odds. And also you have teams that are that bad, they can end up infecting playoff races. I brought up the example with Adam last hour. Last year in the Western Conference, there was 2.5, 3 games separate the 2 seed from the 9 seed. And if you're playing a string of bad teams at the end of the season who are intentionally tanking, that can end up affecting the playoff standings. And that's something that I thought the league would want to fight against.
It's a valid point, Kevin. And the reality is you want to be able to have good competitive parity from top to bottom. You can't have these strong divisions of really good teams and then, average, respectable teams and then really, really bad teams. And so what's happened here is you have the play-in tournament. It's added more teams. It's created competition. It's created some buzz. But once teams know that they're definitely out of the play-in, then they don't even try anymore. And so that's been one of the other things. But as much as I agree with that sentiment, I think the challenge here is how do you make all these things coexist? Well, we're looking at the Spurs Thunder Western Conference Finals matchups. This series has been amazing. These two teams have been great. How did they get here? Because both teams tanked. They collected a lot of lottery picks. Now, in fairness, they also have good organizations. They're well run. They have a good coaching staff. They knew how to play or develop. But the Oklahoma City Thunder, they made that smart trade with Shea, but they also hoarded a bunch of draft picks, and they weren't good, with the exception of that first year when they made the playoffs in the bubble. And then they were able to get guys like Chet Holmgren, Jalen Williams. With the Spurs, they were able to get this generational talent in Victor Wembanyama because they had a really, really bad year and lottery luck struck for them. So that's the thing that I think is challenging. That you do want, that sustained parity from top to bottom and competitive games and treat these games seriously. But, we've seen that these teams have gotten to where they are because they have tanked. So it's a tough proposition.
Before we talk about Oklahoma City and San Antonio in Game 7, just more of a macro view since you brought up Jalen Williams, who the Thunder drafted. And Adam kind of alluded to this last hour too, because I brought up the apron system and how that's going to affect teams moving forward. And I really don't feel the ripple effects of the apron system is going to really be felt for probably a couple of years after these guys start signing extensions and you realize you can't keep them. There's talk about Denver having to potentially trade Cam Johnson and Christian Brown. I'm thinking about Jalen Williams right now. The fact that the Thunder are playing so well and he's essentially been not really a factor for them all season long, despite the fact that he was all NBA last year. His extension kicks in next season, $240 million over the next 5 years. Do you think he could potentially be a casualty going into this offseason, knowing that they're going to be well into the luxury tax and going to have to start shedding payroll?
Yeah, it's a good question. It's a fair question. And it's not even just because of the second apron. It's about if they're falling short, maybe he is the key trade piece that's needed in the Giannis Antetokounmpo deal. Because when you're looking at today's NBA, there's conventional thought now that the path to the NBA championship is going to go through the Spurs, whether you're in the West Finals or in the East in the NBA Finals. Do you have a respectable center that can match up with Victor Wembanyama? What we've seen with Chet Holmgren, it's no. So I think both of those players arguably could be expendable. I think other low-hanging fruit, Lou Dort, really great defender. He brings that physicality for better and for worse, but the Thunder have a team option on him, and as valued as he is as a defender, the Thunder will tell you first that they have so much defensive depth on the wings with Alex Caruso, Kason Wallace, Jalen Williams, the other Jalen Williams. I guess we go by one, J-Dub and J-Will,
right.
That they can absorb not only overlapping injuries with those players, but in theory they could absorb one of those players going to another team. So, yeah, the Thunder haven't had to deal with those problems yet. Neither have the Spurs, but we've seen these past few years the second apron forcing teams to make really, really tough decisions financially that they otherwise wouldn't have done through a basketball lens. But this is going to hit them at some point.
Mark Medina joining us here on FNA on FSR. You know, since you mentioned Giannis a second ago, there's a report earlier this week from Mark Spears that the Washington Wizards might throw their hat into the ring and potentially try to dangle the number 1 overall pick to bring Giannis to Washington to team up with Anthony Davis and Trae Young. Obviously, those are 3 players that have some injury history, but if those players are all healthy at the right time, Washington can go from an all-Saran to a potential championship contender overnight. One, how viable of a trade do you think that that is? And two, if they were to pull it off, do you think that Washington is a legitimate contender to come out of the Eastern Conference and compete with a team like San Antonio and Oklahoma City?
Well, I think the Wizards are going to exercise every single option. When you have that number 1 pick, you have a lot of options. But hear me out, guys. I would argue that keeping the number 1 pick is a better play than getting Giannis Antetokounmpo. They already have Anthony Davis. Yes, I get his injury history, but this draft class is really, really good. You have Cameron Boozer, who's already able to make an instant impact right away. He's not projected to go number 1, but he's projected as a player that's most ready to win now. And AJ Debinsa, he is a really great defender, really good post-up player. There's comps thrown around that, he's not Kevin Durant yet, but he models his game after him, and he is a beacon of durability. I think that there's more questions about Derek Peterson's availability because of his injuries these past few years, but at least AJ Debinsa, at least Cameron Boozer, those guys can make two-way impact right away. And I would argue that a team like Washington that already has, an infrastructure in place with Anthony Davis, Trae Young, you can make the case they're better off trying to have a younger player that's still equipped to win now than Giannis Antetokounmpo, knowing that you're going to have to give up more than the number 1 pick and knowing that Giannis has had his own concerns about his own injuries. So if I'm Washington, I'm actually keeping the number 1 pick. But in fairness to everything, they're obviously keeping every option open at this point.
Mark Medina, our guest here on FNA on Fox Sports Radio. So we mentioned the J-Dub, the other Jay Williams, and then there's another Jay Williams on television who recently flip-flopped on Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and his opinion of the narrative surrounding flopping with him. It feels like he just gave in because it's the cool thing to do right now. Mark, have you changed your perception or your feelings towards SGA or the way the OKC Thunder play basketball during this playoff run at all?
No, I think both things can be true. There are times that he flops and gets calls, but that's not the reason why he's the MVP for 2 consecutive seasons. The reason why he's the MVP for 2 consecutive seasons is he's really, really damn good. And part of that is he is a 3-level scorer. He knows how to excel in the mid-range. He knows how he's improved as a 3-point shooter. Part of the reason why he gets so many free throws is he drives to the basket a lot, and he uses his angles. He knows how to absorb contact, partly because of his work in the weight room in the off season during the season. So yeah, he is one of the top players in getting free throws. But team wide, the Thunder are not the leaders in the league in getting to the foul line. Now they are one of the leaders in the league with not having as many foul calls called against them. And I know that some opponents get upset with that because they do play pretty physical. The Lou Dort strikes on Nikola Jokic is one thing, but generally there's a feeling that they're fouling almost on every possession. They've concluded that every referee is not going to call that because they want to ensure constant flow of the game. But I think if you're so consumed with that, that's taken away from the fact that the Thunder have so much dimensions defensively. I mentioned that wing depth, but they have two bigs that are really great at the rim. Chet Holmgren, Isaiah Hardenstein, maybe not so much this series because Wemby is really good, but generally they're pretty dependable. And then, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, he's not an elite defender, but he's improved, and he's able to take some risks knowing that he has all that rim protection behind him, and he has a surplus of wings to complement him in the backcourt. So, yeah, I think it's overblown, and it's just low-hanging fruit, and you can take all these different plays and footage from games that shows that Shai is doing that, but give me footage of other star players, and they're doing the same thing.
So if we're taking a look at that game coming up later tonight, the Game 7 at home for Oklahoma City, Adam and I talked about the fact that role players typically play better at home. I'm looking at guys, like McCain, like Caruso for Oklahoma City, who've been lights out in their home games and kind of meh on the road in San Antonio. If you're kind of handicapping this matchup coming up in Game 7, the general consensus, and I'm hoping this is not the case, that I'm kind of feeling an Oklahoma City blowout here, kind of like what we've seen the majority of this series, save for Game 1 with the double overtime thriller. Adam thinks it's going to be pretty close and pretty tight because a lot of Game 7s are tight. How do you see this matchup going tonight?
Yeah, I mean, flip a coin, but if I had to pick, it would be the Thunder because they have that Game 7 at home. They've been used to playing Game 7s against Denver in the second round last year, against Indiana in the finals. I don't think it's going to be a blowout for a few reasons. Jalen Williams is not playing in Game 7 because of his left hamstring injury. And Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, I think that he'll elevate his play, but it's not guaranteed that it will be an efficient scoring night for him because the Spurs have done a good job with, being physical with him and all that. And I think with the Spurs, Victor Wembanyama seems to be on a mission after his tough performance in Game 5. In Game 6, he was really locked in, and he had that sweet spot of being a lot more aggressive with setting the tone, both with his outside shooting and his touch inside and defensively as well, while also elevating his teammates. And, I hate to force this analogy, but I felt like it was very unexpected a few weeks ago when we were talking about Ninja Turtles here. I would argue that Victor Wembanyama has all the identities of all the Ninja Turtle characters. He's got Splinter's wisdom. He's got Leonardo's leadership. He's got Donatello's smarts. He's got Michelangelo's goofiness and playfulness with his teammates, right? And he's got Raphael's temper and impatience and chippiness. You combine all those qualities, that makes for one hell of a superstar player.
And April O'Neil's thin ankles.
He could just pick up the Technodrome and just rip it to shreds with his bare hands at that point.
There you go.
Maybe he got a little bit of mutagen. Like he is an alien. They like to call him that. Let's go to the Eastern Conference a little bit here, Mark, and work backwards somewhat because there's a reason why New York has so much time off. They swept the Cleveland Cavaliers. What did you make of Kenny Atkinson and talking about, we analytically won 2 of these games. I understand process-wise, there is something to that. They missed a lot of open shots, and you kind of have to just take those shots. And if you miss them, you're going to lose, but you also have to live with it. But him saying that was bold, and he's an interesting guy. Do you think he's going to make it and be the coach next year?
Hey, analytically, the Cleveland Cavaliers are in the finals.
Oh, man.
That's right.
Next week.
Well, James Harden said they're still the better team. So,
yeah,
I don't know, whatever there's in that
wild.
Gatorade, everybody's drinking it in Cleveland. So,
yeah, it's so wild because, to be clear, the Knicks have a better roster. They were better rested because the Cavs went through those 7-game series earlier in the playoffs against, Toronto and Detroit. So they were coming in at a disadvantage, but it doesn't excuse what we saw here with Kenny Atkinson, most notably with how he handled his timeouts in Game 1 as, the Cleveland Cavaliers were squandering that double-digit lead. And for him to say, well, I like to keep my timeouts at the end of the game, he wasn't going to have those timeouts. You either use it or lose it. So that's number one. Number two, for all the struggles that Cleveland did as a team, a lot of this points to James Harden. Now, I was looking up and, I was watching the games, but then just looking at the box scores, and I noticed something very, very perplexing, but also explained his unacceptable play. He had, in 8 of the 11 playoff games, he had more turnovers than made threes. And that means a few things. There were games that James Harden still made a lot of threes, but he committed a lot of turnovers. There were games he didn't make a lot of threes at all. And that's unacceptable for someone of his caliber. And the Cavs traded for him for a reason, because they felt like they weren't getting back to that next level with Darius Garland, partly because he was a young player, partly because of his injuries. And they thought that James Harden could take the team to another level, and that clearly didn't happen. And then with Kenny Atkinson, to your question, yes, he is coming back. I believe Shams had reported earlier, even within the day after they lost, that the Cavaliers have determined he's coming back. But I just know in today's NBA, they might be giving him a vote of confidence now, but if things don't improve next season, I wouldn't be surprised if there are changes. But in the broader scheme of things with Kenny Atkinson, what he showed with his coaching this postseason, very, very surprising, because he has a very respectable pedigree. He has extensive head coaching. He was seen as this great player development guy, and he just needed that chance to show that he could manage an all-star caliber roster. He showed that last year with their regular season success. He's considered one of the most offensively brilliant minds in the NBA as an assistant coach, most notably with the Warriors. He has international experience with coaching, the French national team. So he has all the coaching chops. So for him to lay an egg in this playoffs, I did not see it coming at all.
Last one for me, Mark. Talking to Mark Medina, Fox Sports Radio NBA insider. Going back to the New York Knicks, who have been sitting at home waiting to figure out who they're going to play coming up next week in the NBA Finals. I think conventional wisdom is because of the lack of experience for San Antonio, people believe that they are a more favorable matchup for the New York Knicks over the Oklahoma City Thunder. Do you agree with that notion? And do you agree with the general thought that the Knicks are just lambs to slaughter, regardless of who comes out of the West? Or do you think they have a legitimate shot depending on who they face?
Yeah, well, I think with the Spurs, we've seen that the quote-unquote inexperience, it's not that much of a factor. They've challenged the Thunder to 7 games. Now, we'll see in Game 7, does someone shrink from the moment? I guess you can't rule that out. I don't see it happening. If the Spurs lose Game 7, I just think it's going to be execution-based and the Thunder rise to the occasion. I don't think the Knicks are going to get blown out of the gym, but the only way that they have any advantage is this rest and, either team coming into the NBA Finals with some major injuries. But in fairness to that, Game 1 doesn't start till Wednesday. And so I think that part can be overblown a little bit, and there is a danger of having too much time off with not having enough rhythm. Now, the Knicks, they've been playing their best basketball. They've been the best playoff team technically, but the caliber of opponents that they played haven't been the same caliber of opponents that the Thunder and Spurs have played, partly because they're in this 7-game series. So Knicks, they're one of the best defensive teams, I think, since January offensively. They found another gear. Mikal Bridges is finally being the Mikal Bridges that he was in Phoenix. Karl-Anthony Towns is more consistent. Jalen Brunson is as a duo. Individually, they've been great. And you've been getting a lot of consistent contributions from Josh Hart. They have some injury concerns about Mitchell Robinson as well. So I think when you add all that, it's not going to be a sweep. I think it'll go 6 games, but I clearly give the advantage to either San Antonio or OKC.
Don't play till Wednesday. Mitchell Robinson could grow a new pinky by then, like a lizard's tail or something like that. They're going to be just fine. He's Mark Medina. Better than fine. At Mark G_Medina. The G for G-Unit. As we found out the first time he came on with us late night here on Fox Sports Radio. This is F&A on FSR. And Mark Medina is Fox Sports Radio's NBA analyst. Mark, thanks for doing this once again tonight.
Appreciate you guys. And yeah, you know what? We'll see, because the Knicks are in New York. Maybe they consult some turtles and a rat for some wisdom here.
Hey, why not? I know.
I hear there's going to be a new Ninja Turtle movie coming out.
Oh.
They might find some inspiration. Wait a second.
I'm not.
You know the last Ninja Turtle movie that came out? They had Carmelo Anthony doing promo for it with the Knicks.
I'm aware. I didn't see it. I don't know if it was good or not. My thought is it probably wasn't.
There, listen to Raphael's review.
100%. Thank you, Mark. Appreciate it, brother.
Appreciate you guys. We will.
All right. Let's keep the Knicks conversation going because there's a lot of talk about them being a team of destiny and the underdogs. And who would ever think that that basketball mecca, as Victor Bird Jacobs will call it, would be considered underdogs headed into the NBA Finals?
Maybe a team that hasn't been there in like 25 years or hasn't won one in 50.
Yeah.
They might be underdogs. I don't know.
Maybe we go down the list of the things that weren't invented the last time the Knicks were in the NBA Finals. You can do that coming up next, too. It's F&A on FSR. Don't go anywhere.
I love this. It's why we play the game.
We got a game 7, y'all.
Got a team that was ready from the start. On your mark, set, go.
It's the Western Conference Finals.
And there will be a game 7 in the Western Conference Finals. Yes, sir.
Who will represent their conference in the finals? It's your NBA News on Fox Sports Radio.
Professional wrestling fans, the action continues every week. Watch TNA Thursday Night Impact every week on AMC.
It is like electricity flowing through your veins.
Don't miss the adrenaline, the drama, and the total non-stop action.
No one can ever be as good as this right here.
Don't miss the action of TNA Thursday Night Impact every week on AMC. For showtimes and more information, visit TNAWrestling.com.
Tyler Reddick here from 2311 Racing. The rush of racing? Nothing beats it, but Chumba Casino comes close. Chumba's got fast spins, fun games, daily bonuses, and all the action you can handle. Now that's a ride. Ready to hit the throttle? Get in the driver's seat and head to ChumbaCasino.com. Let's Chumba.
Sponsored by Chumba Casino. No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 21 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
If you have unfiled taxes or are in debt to the IRS, this is important news. Did you know the IRS has programs specifically designed to help people struggling with tax debt? Powerful tax assistance programs that can save you thousands if you qualify. No one knows these programs better than the experts at Optima Tax Relief, America's most trusted tax resolution firm, A-rated by the Better Business Bureau. Their award-winning tax attorneys and licensed professionals have resolved over $3 billion of tax debt for their clients. One call to Optima can start the process, helping to put an end to your worries about wage garnishment, asset seizure, and other aggressive IRS actions. Find the best options to solve your tax problems. Call the experts at Optima Tax Relief today for a free consultation.
Call 800-627-7754. 800-627-7754. 800-627-7754.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Did you know we're on YouTube? Fox Sports Radio. You can find all of your favorite shows on YouTube.
Look at us. We're waving at you right now.
Did you know that you can find the best clips and the best videos from your favorite shows?
All the interviews, clips, everything is there.
This is why you're the smartest listeners in the world.
Completely agree.
Because you went to YouTube and you searched Fox Sports Radio, and you are the ones that hit the subscribe button and the notification bell. You're the ones that watch videos from Two Pros and a Cup of Joe with Jonas Knox, Brady Quinn, and LeVar Arrington.
You can't even make this up.
Dan Patrick, Colin Cowherd, Stu Godson Company. Live.
It's so good.
Cavino and Rich. Oh, yeah. The Odd Couple with Rob Parker and Kelvin Washington. The Jason Smith Show with Mike Harmon.
Think about that for a second.
And the Ben Maller Show.
Fox Sports Radio.
On YouTube. Wow. By searching Fox Sports Radio.
Check us out on YouTube. Subscribe. Hit that thumbs up icon and comment away.
One guy sees the whole board.
I keeps it real, son.
But here's where I got smoke with you, sir.
The other guy sees what he wants.
Kelvin, you're so full of it.
I know they won the game, but I'm going to tell you, I'm going to give it to you real.
They couldn't be further apart.
Well, let me say it this way.
Stop it.
And that's why this works. It's The Odd Couple.
Book it.
With Rob Parker and Kelvin Washington.
You know you make me wanna.
Keep screaming. Weekdays at 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific on Fox Sports Radio.
I like the morning show.
They're really funny in the morning.
This is the show that has two pros and a cup of Joe.
Who is Joe?
LeVar Arrington, Brady Quinn, and Jonas Knox.
Where Steve Sarkisian, the head coach of Texas, took a little bit of an indirect shot at Texas Tech. And I say indirect because he didn't name them by name.
He just said the following, quote, "There's a team in our state and another conference with a schedule that I would argue, if I played with our 2s and 3s, we could go undefeated." Joey McGuire, who's the head coach at Texas Tech, he heard the comments and he responded with this.
I know he feels really good about his team and he's making those comments. And, man, we would love to play the University of Texas week 1 in Lubbock. If they want to play week 1, then we're ready. We would love to play the University of Texas.
This is just fun, you know?
Oh, it's awesome. It's awesome. And this is also why, like, if college football continues to transition from a regional sport to a national sport, this is what's going to make it even more tantalizing for fans and people who aren't maybe as aware of all the storylines in college football. And what make it fun is because they can do these sorts of things. You know, you can't do this in the NFL. You can't, like, basically have a coach, you know, talking trash and say, all right, how about this? I got this rich donor, Cody Campbell. He's going to buy out those other 2 teams. And I think they're going to square up and play each other so that we don't have to worry about that.
Hasn't Texas Tech had more success lately than Texas? If you, like, measure it out, like, I find that a tad bit curious if you're going
to get the rest of LeVar Arrington, Brady.
Hey, Adam.
Podcast by searching
We got a caller. Joel from Seattle wants to talk the Seahawks draft.
Weekdays from 6 a.m. Eastern, 3 a.m. Pacific on Fox Sports Radio.
Ladies and gentlemen,
It's Colin Cowherd, outspoken.
I know it's uncomfortable and nobody wants to talk about it.
It's the Herd.
This is
the Herd.
That's what this is.
Man of the people.
People don't want Socrates or Aristotle. They want a guy.
Oh, did I mention outspoken?
I'm sorry, guys, but unpopular opinion. Rivalries are overrated.
It's the Herd with Colin Cowherd. Listen every weekday at 12 p.m. Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific.
Wow.
Right here on Fox Sports Radio.
Whoa.
why, hello there.
You're listening all day. You're listening all night. Now, you can watch us on YouTube, on Instagram and X. Watch us yell.
Do it. I'm wrong.
It
makes me sick.
Watch us sing.
One shining moment. Somebody. Pop goes and tease Bets and Joe Montana.
Watch us dominate.
I listen to you guys every day.
And that's kind of a big deal.
We are Fox Sports Radio.
Good stuff.
Whoa! And that's it.
FS1. To find FS1 on your television, go to foxsports.com for details. FS1. Go to foxsports.com for details.
Any of you guys ever heard the expression fair fight?
F&A, Cotton. F&A. Welcome back in. It's F&A on Fox Sports Radio. I'm Adam Moslin. He's Kevin Figures. Follow Adam A. He's at KFig1 at F&A Show. You could also be watching us on the stream on the YouTube side if you search F&A Show. Also, get that iHeart app out. You can stream us wherever you are. Catch us on all of our Fox Sports Radio shows live 24/7 in the new and improved iHeart app. Just search Fox Sports Radio in the app to stream us live all day, every day, and be sure to select Fox Sports Radio as one of your presets in the iHeart app so it always pops up at the top of your screen. Again, just search Fox Sports Radio in the iHeart app.
Coming up next hour, we'll talk about chasing individual accolades versus chasing team accomplishments and which one you value the most. So we'll talk about that coming up next hour on FNA on FSR. But we just finished talking to Mark Medina, our Fox Sports Radio NBA insider, about the NBA Finals, the New York Knicks, who are awaiting their opponent, which if you were rewind the clock back to opening night, which would have been around, Halloween-ish, November-ish or whatever, and you told me that the New York Knicks will be sitting at home awaiting for the Western Conference champion, I'd have told you were insane.
It's like 1 in a million.
I would say 1 in a trillion.
Oh, Kevin. Come on.
That's not going to happen.
Absolutely not.
They were in the Eastern Conference Finals
yes,
last
I know.
year.
I recognize they're in the conference finals.
Are you a big
last
Tibbs
year.
guy? You
The
thought
fact that
when they fired Tom Thibodeau, you're like, oh, they're done. They're cursed forever.
Well, when they fired Tom Thibodeau and hired Mike Brown, I was kind of like, huh, really? Not that I don't like Mike Brown, but if I'm going to be objective going into the season, if you were to put Mike Brown and Tom Thibodeau in front of me and say, I need to hire one of these guys to lead my basketball team for a quest for a championship, I probably would have picked Tibbs.
This is fair. I did like it, though, in this respect. More offensive creativity out there. And not playing your starters 48 minutes every game.
More than the offensive creativity, which I would not have given Mike Brown credit for. just being a little bit more reasonable with the minutes with your offensive starters or with your offensive players makes all the difference in the world. And I believe Josh Hart even mentioned that. I don't know if it was during the Eastern Conference Finals or potentially in the Sixers series, but acknowledging is like, yeah, we're fresher, and it's made a huge difference.
How about that? We weren't burned out for the playoffs.
Yeah, what a concept.
Yeah, this Knicks team, basically since they smoked out Atlanta after a little bit of a scare in the first round, they were down 2-1. Remember that?
You were talking about them firing Mike Brown, and it was a mistake, and what the hell, and this is ridiculous.
You're out.
Yeah.
Did I?
Absolutely.
Well, he probably would have gotten fired, yeah. if they lost that first round series,
because the justification was, and it was a good point. You said it. Tom Thibodeau got him to the conference finals.
Yeah.
Now you're flirting with getting eliminated in the first round to the freaking Hawks.
You had to at least get to the conference finals. They went even a step further, and they've been a damn buzzsaw with the way they have gone through teams in just the fashion they have ever since they won that game by 61 points. Yeah, buzzsaw.
Since game 4 of the first round series against Atlanta, or I should say game 3, I think it was our last loss. So they have not lost the game since then.
They have been one of the hottest playoff teams in our lifetime. Now, granted, it's the Eastern Conference. And granted, the Cleveland Cavaliers blew a 22-point lead, and I think the entire complexion of that series, you go from what I think would have been a 6 or 7 game series to getting swept because you blow a game like that. It's the same thing to me, Kevin, as the 95 finals. If Nick Anderson doesn't miss those shots at the free throw line, we're talking 4 free throws. Clutch! Not so much. They win that first game. Kenny Smith doesn't get the 3 to tie it to send it into overtime. Orlando might win the series. They were that talented. The Cavaliers were talented, but you blow a game like that, you can't recover psychologically.
Yeah, it makes it really, really difficult at that point in time. The New York Knicks have a plus 19.5 net rating. That is better than the 2017 Warriors, who ran roughshod through the postseason before, of course, they blew the 3-1 lead to LeBron James and the Cleveland Cavaliers. But that tells you how dominant they have been in this postseason.
And I'm not saying they're better in that team.
No, they're not
Obviously,
even close.
It's inflated because of level of competition, and they have been extremely hot with the shooting. And then there's something else, and this would worry me if I'm a Knicks fan. Andre 3000 ways to hate on FNA. Listen up.
FNA, Cotton, FNA.
Oh, yeah, big Knicks fan. He's been relatively quiet.
Yeah.
Why are you mad at me, Adam?
Oh, there he is. There he is. There's Andre. So the New York Knicks, listen to this stat. This is wild. So you categorize three-point shooting or opponent three-point shooting like this. There's 4 different ways to do it. How they shoot against you from 0 to 2 feet, or from 2 to 4 feet if your defender's that far away, or if you're 4 to 6 feet away, or if you're 6+ feet away. Well, when the Knicks defenders are 6+ feet away from guarding perimeter shooters taking threes in the playoffs, their opponents are shooting 32% from 3 with nobody there.
So that's basically, and so that's from that 6 feet away that Adam is talking about is what people would describe as wide open.
Yeah.
There's open, there's contested, there's open, and there's wide open. That is considered as wide open as you can get at the NBA level, and they're shooting 32% from 3. Their opponents are.
I think it actually says on NBA.com wide
ass open. Yeah, the old Bruce Arians. That's right.
Like, that is luck. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
They're not guarding those guys, and they're still missing. And a lot of that happened against Cleveland.
And
as crazy as it was with what Kenny said, look, he may be right, but you can never say that. You just can't. You can't put that red meat out there for everybody to go, oh, it's the analytics champ forever. That soundbite, he'll never overcome that unless they win a championship. But there is something to the fact that they were getting a lot of open shots, which means your offense is working. You're creating good looks out there against a very good defense, but they couldn't knock them down.
To go back to the Cavs for a half a second, that would have been one of my pushbacks for Mark Medina for the shortcomings that James Harden has, and he has many of them, the turnovers and not making threes. When he had the whole quote about, I am the offense or whatever, to a certain degree he is. I'm the system. That's what it was.
I am a system. I'm not a system player. I am a system.
He created the majority of those open looks for the Cavs. They just weren't making them, despite the fact that he didn't really play all that well individually, making his open shots. Yes, he turned the ball over. If the Cavaliers make their shots, they if they don't win the series, they at least make it extremely more competitive.
He was still bending the defense. And when
Yeah.
you lose a 22-point lead with 7 minutes and 50 seconds left in the fourth quarter, that's an all-time collapse. That's not oh, these happen once every playoffs. Some team's going to do it. No. This is historically bad. So I'm not surprised they could never recover from that. But there's a little bit of an argument on both sides when it comes to James Harden, I think, if you're really being fair about the way he played in these playoffs than just, oh, he's a choke artist, he didn't show up. It's like, well, his assist to turnover ratio wouldn't look nearly that bad if guys were actually hitting shots for him. He created those looks, as you said.
Yeah, so that's the one drawback there. But I will give credit to the Knicks. I mean, they took advantage of it, and they were able to. They made their shots. They've adjusted. You mentioned the offensive adjustments, where it was purely a Jalen Brunson operation last season, to a point where I think it kind of wore them down a little bit. Now they've been a little more diverse in their offensive sets. They let Cat do a lot more offensively, working off of him, something that they didn't do a lot last season. And I think that's actually saved Jalen Brunson for more clutch situations. So that was a smart tactical move that Mike Brown incorporated for them this year.
Now you're talking rest versus rust. And I think we mentioned last week, it is common knowledge or general knowledge. It's accepted that the Western Conference is the best, and this is the NBA Finals. Basically, the de facto finals are happening right now in the West. And I believe that. They're the two best teams. But there is a war of attrition angle to this. And the Knicks have showed that they're good enough to me that they can scare one of these teams and possibly win because they have this huge rest advantage against two teams in the Western Conference. Whoever comes out of it, they're going to be beat up because they already are.
Yeah.
They already are down guys. They already have guys who are playing hurt. That is going to help the Knicks. I give them a legit shot.
I give them a shot because of how they're built. We talk about the switchability factor for Oklahoma City and the Spurs and how they have all these wings who are young and athletic. They don't have the depth, but at the top end of the roster, so do the Knicks. OG, Bridges, Hart, Shamet, all these guys are 6'5 plus that can defend multiple positions. Now, the problem is, and this is an issue they might run into, they might have to play these guys 38, 40 minutes or whatever, because you start getting deeper into the bench. That's an advantage that Oklahoma City most definitely and San Antonio to a certain degree both have over them, which is why ultimately I would end up picking either of those teams over the Knicks. They just don't have the depth. But if we're talking about top versus top, the Knicks have what it takes to be able to hang with them. So to your point, things break their way. Some injury factors with the San Antonio Spurs, or most definitely with Oklahoma City. There is an avenue to where the New York Knicks can force this to 6 games, and if you can get it to 6, why don't you have a legitimate shot to be able to win the series?
Well, and when we tease the team of destiny, I think some of that momentum and that feeling from fans is we just saw what the Indiana Pacers did last year.
Perfect example.
And I brought up how everybody thought OKC could just run over them last year. And it went 7, and they could have easily won if Halliburton doesn't go down with the Achilles. They led it to half. People are now saying, well, the Knicks kind of looking the same. They're looking like a team that just is on one of those magical runs. But I agree with you. I'd take whoever came out of the West because they are going to target the hell out of Jalen Brunson, and there is a real weak link there, and with Cat at times. And that's something that the Spurs and OKC, they don't have many defenders you can go at, if any.
No. The weird thing is I know we have to break, Mark, but the fact that the Knicks have almost turned into like America's team, for lack of a better term, like they're kind of like they are legitimately the underdogs, but they're like one of the marquee franchises in the history of the sport. And I feel like there's a bunch of people. Yes, we want to see Wemby. Yes, we love watching Oklahoma City, but I think there's a groundswell of people who want to see the Knicks win this thing and do well.
It could be like the Giants going up against the Patriots in some way.
Yeah.
Back in 2007. And I'm not saying that the difference in talent is that drastic. You've got one team that's going for a perfect season or anything like that. But there are some similarities where you found yourself, why are we rooting for the Giants again? Like, it is a huge market team, New Yorkers. We don't like these guys, but in this scenario, actually we do. Now, granted, they were going up against a Boston team, so pick your poison, or lesser of two evils maybe. But yeah, I think it's going to be a great series regardless. I think it should go 6 or 7. I do. I think the Knicks can make it interesting. All you got to do is steal one. All you got to do is steal one on the road and put that pressure, because it's the 2-2-1-1-1.
Right.
Finals
no more
now.
No more 2-3-2. That's right.
No 2-3-2, where I thought that was ridiculous. And I know it was for media and travel and all that stuff, but I think it benefits the road team in this situation, or the team with the worst record, which would be the Knicks.
Yeah. Coming up next, F&A on FSR. It could be a landmark decision that could affect the future of college football or college sports in general. We'll talk about that coming up. F&A on FSR.
You know we have what you want.
This is no longer a theory.
Whether it's late at night,
Coast to coast,
early in the mornings.
Yeah, no, different guy.
This could be.
He wants to give a flopping take. Wemby, Thunder.
I got it. We are Fox Sports Radio.
Okay. Seahawks guy was upset.
Tyler Reddick here from 2311 Racing. Game night's fun until someone spends.
No, he was just like, hey, he hung up and then he joined back, and I was like, he's like, hey, are they taking any callers? And I'm like, yeah, potentially. They're talking Western Conference, Eastern Conference, NBA. He's like, okay, well, whatever.
Play now at ChumbaCasino.com. Let's Chumba. Sponsored by Chumba Casino. No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 21 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
Professional wrestling fans, the action continues every week. Watch TNA Thursday Night Impact every week on AMC.
Yeah, he's got to be he had to have been the same guy, because I was like, Seahawks draft? Chance from Alabama. I texted it to you guys.
Of TNA Thursday Night Impact every week on AMC. For showtimes and more information, visit TNAWrestling.com.
There are some shows you don't want to miss.
This is going to be fun.
And there are some shows you can't miss.
Let's not overreact.
This is Covino and Rich.
If you're a wrestling fan like we were growing up, there was a moment where training, saying your prayers and eating your vitamins, brother, it sort of just ran its course. Do you remember when the Hulkster was coming out with the red and yellow, and it was like, we get it. Big bad guy. It lines up for Hogan to face him at WrestleMania or SummerSlam or something. Then what happens? He's about to whoop Hogan's ass, and then Hulkster, he hulks up, and then he points to him. He clotheslines him. He gives him the big boot. He drops the big leg. 1, 2, 3. Real American comes on, and it was like The Walking Dead. Remember, every season of The Walking Dead started to become Rick, Carl, and everyone bumped into a new set of bad guys.
It's the same show, same story.
Like rinse, repeat. Like,
all
you know,
the time.
I think take a page out of The Walking Dead, and especially the Hulkster. What did the Hulkster do when the red and yellow Hulkamania became stale?
He went heel.
I know. But what is it, Steve?
He became the bad guy.
Yeah.
You said it. He became
heel. He turned into Hollywood Hogan, and you realize that Hulk Hogan, Hollywood Hogan, the bad guy, turning heel, turning villain. So we're talking about a pivot to being a bad guy was the solution. Yo, listen to me. Is this on? Yo, Oklahoma City Thunder. You got to pull a Hollywood Hogan, because being the bad guy is way better than being boring. You need to go.
Hey, this is Cheech, and this is Chong, and you're listening to Covino and Rich, so listen up.
To get the rest of what Covino and Rich said, podcast it by searching Covino and Rich. And as always, you can hear Covino and Rich weekdays at 5 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Pacific on Fox Sports Radio. This is the Jason Smith Show.
Check this out.
With Mike Harmon.
Think about this, because now this is the most likely scenario I can see for LeBron James. Donovan Mitchell just watched his team get run out of the playoffs by the Knicks, led by Jalen Brunson, who signed a long-term deal, and he took way less money. Now, Pablo Torre might investigate, but he took way less money, which has allowed the Knicks to spend a lot of money to put this team on the floor. All Donovan Mitchell has to do is say, I will Jalen Brunson the hell out of this, because he's up for a new deal. I'll Brunson the hell out of this. You give me a lot of money. No, I don't need that much, Matt, but you give me a lot of money. I'll take less for long term. If that means you can go out, you can bring LeBron in. All he's got to do is Jalen Brunson his way and say, I'll take less. That's all that has to happen for LeBron to go to the Cavs.
You're listening to Jason Smith with Mike Harmon. Weeknights at 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific on Fox Sports Radio. Ladies and gentlemen, this is The Odd Couple with Rob Parker and Kelvin Washington.
James Dolan is a reason not to root for the Knicks. From the standpoint that you don't want to see a bad guy, bad owner for most of his career there, owning the team, win. I'm not one to quickly forget. I am on the record. I do not want to see James Dolan, the owner of the Knicks, win an NBA championship. He doesn't deserve it. He's been a bad owner, a bad guy to fans, had fans thrown out, and had one of the all-time fan favorites in Charles Oakley thrown out of Madison Square Garden like a bum. And I can't unsee that.
This is The Odd Couple with Rob Parker and Kelvin Washington. Weekdays at 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific on Fox Sports Radio. One more Dan Patrick.
That sounds like he might be touchable.
One more Colin Cowherd.
Be honest about it.
How about some more Covino and Rich?
Fox Sports Radio Nation, your thoughts?
The most inclusive show on Fox Sports Radio.
More Fox Sports Radio?
Any way you want this, I can make it happen.
Then it's yours. All of it.
We love it.
Download the iHeartRadio app and indulge while you do things.
Do it.
That's a good thing.
This is Fox Sports Radio. The most fearless voice in sports is on FS1. The one and only Colin Cowherd is bold, unique, and outspoken.
Wow.
You can see him on The Herd, weekdays at noon Eastern on FS1 in the Fox Sports app.
I say the future is ours.
F&A, Cotton, F&A.
Back in F&A on FSR. For the best pregame show every weekend, be sure to tune in to Fox Sports Radio's Countdown, presented by BetMGM, every Saturday and Sunday morning from 9 a.m. to noon Eastern. That is 6 to 9 a.m. Pacific. We will count you down to all of the biggest games of the weekend. Tune in to Countdown, presented by BetMGM, every Saturday and Sunday morning right here on Fox Sports Radio and the iHeart app.
Kevin, are we prepared to take a phone call, or are we going straight to college football in the Wild Wild West?
Let's go. Who do you have?
All right, Chance from Alabama. We're taking a chance. I think he wants to talk about the Western Conference Finals. Chance, what's up?
Man, I'd love to hear the college football thing. I'm more of a football fan, but I do have a football
You're interrupting it. How dare you?
No. I asked for a football take, but they said y'all are talking basketball, so I'll get my OKC flopping take in unless you want to put me back on hold. So, my OKC flopping take. Keep doing it. Who cares what people say? Take advantage of it. Adam Silver, according to him, there's nothing wrong with it. We got the greatest refs, yada, yada, yada. You know, and the refs, you know, if they're doing their job, they shouldn't be blowing the whistle. I mean, remember the Legion of Boom? Like I said, I'm a big football fan. Man, they were taught to grab and hold and, you know, commit PIs, commit holding calls, because they know the refs aren't going to slow down the game and throw a flag every darn play.
Yeah,
so they may throw one here. They may throw one here or there, but in the back of their mind, they'll say, "Man, I can't keep throwing a flag. I can't keep doing this." So
yeah, I agree. I'm with you.
Took advantage of the rule.
Yeah.
So hey, if the ref and the general manager of the NBA says it's fine, hell, keep doing it. Keep taking advantage.
Do you enjoy watching that brand of basketball, though? Is it pleasing to you?
No, it's not pleasing. It's like the tush push. It's just it's not very aesthetic to the eye. It's
Yeah, but you make the point that I made earlier in the show, and thanks for the call too. It's like if the league is not going to stop it, and if it's working to my advantage, why would I not do it? Like, I'm trying to do whatever it takes to be able to win games. That's all I care about. It doesn't matter how aesthetically pleasing it is. Did I win or did I not?
Yeah.
That's all that matters.
Chance almost took it to the direction we were going to start this segment off with, which is college football and more uncertainty with transfers and just where are we right now, Kevin?
Well, really, so the big thing for me, I wanted to mention Sorsby situation. We don't have a lot of time, but Brendan Sorsby, the quarterback at Texas Tech, of course, currently ineligible to play. And there's going to be a court ruling on Monday to determine whether or not he'll actually be allowed to play college football this coming season. That's because when he was at Indiana, he admitted, and a lot of it's been well documented, that he bet on about 40 different types of bets on the Indiana football team while he was a player. Now, he didn't play, he didn't travel, but he was still on the team. And his defense is that he suffers from anxiety and that he suffers from a gambling addiction. And so it should fall under that situation where the NCAA should give him some leniency and say like, well, I went to rehab, and because of that, you should allow me to be able to play. The NCAA is like, well, you can't bet on college football. We all know that. You can't especially bet on the team that you play for. If we allow you to play, that opens up a slippery slope.
I don't know if I can use anxiety as an excuse there. Like, there are consequences for doing this. It's hard to know his intent or what it was, and maybe there just needs to be more distance until you get back to playing.
It's also hard, I can't say, whether, I'm sure maybe he does have an addiction, but the hard part is he didn't admit the addiction, nor did he put himself into rehab until an investigation was opened up and this all became public.
Oh, okay.
If he was contrite from the very beginning and told the NCAA, hey, I got to tell you guys, I got this issue.
30.
But it was one of those situations was until it became public knowledge, now all of a sudden he goes into rehab and it becomes an addiction. And if you're the NCAA and you allow this to happen, what's to stop another player from using this as a potential excuse?
Right.
I'm not saying that Sorsby is, but it just starts a slippery slope situation.
First rule is admitting
10
problem. I think that's how this works here. I mean, come on.
5 seconds.
We still got another hour with you. F&A on Fox Sports Radio.
If you have unfiled taxes or are in debt to the IRS, this is important news. Did you know the IRS has programs specifically designed to help people struggling with tax debt? Powerful tax assistance programs that can save you thousands if you qualify. No one knows these programs better than the experts at Optima Tax Relief, America's most trusted tax resolution firm, A-rated by the Better Business Bureau. Their award-winning tax attorneys and licensed professionals have resolved over $3 billion of tax debt for their clients. One call to Optima can start the process, helping to put an end to your worries about wage garnishment, asset seizure, and other aggressive IRS actions. Find the best options to solve your tax problems. Call the experts at Optima Tax Relief today for a free consultation.
Call 800-627-7754. 800-627-7754. 800-627-7754.
Optima Tax Relief. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com. FS1. To find FS1 on your television, go to FoxSports.com for details. FS1. Go to FoxSports.com for details.
Let's begin.
Sometimes we like company. Other times, company is downright annoying. Let's listen to Stu Gatz and Company live. And you tell us where this show lies.
I've never led with tennis before. I am so excited you're here. I've never had you here with me to lead with tennis. This is very exciting. For those of you who don't know, Adnan is a part of a special group. I believe it's #Team Fed.
Every time you bring it up, it's so great because there's a new audience out there. It's like when Joe DiMaggio, one time somebody asked him, Joe, why do you work so hard? Why do you play so hard? He goes, there might be one fan out there who's never seen me before. There's one listener out there right now who has no idea what Stugatz is about to explain. And it's
He is part of a Roger Federer fan club. It is him and Andrew Brandt. I'm not certain who else is in the club. I think it's some guy he plays tennis with every Thursday.
Kleinberg.
Yeah, Kleinberg, that guy. They cried at Roger's retirement ceremony. They dressed up in Roger's clothes, tennis clothes, when he retired for every match. They love Roger Federer, and they are hanging on to him being considered the greatest tennis player of all time, even though Novak Djokovic, by many, is considered to be the greatest. In terms of majors, he is 2 ahead of Roger, or 4 ahead now of Roger Federer. And the reason what happened to Sinner today is concerning for Adnan is twofold. One, Adnan wants to see the best tennis players play as far as they can, as deep as they can into a tournament, especially in the majors. He wants to see the best versus the best. And Sinner, who was a point away, lost today in 5 sets. And that breaks Adnan's heart. But when you consider that Sinner is now out, Alcaraz never started. He never played. He wasn't playing in this French Open. And now
To hear more from Stu Gatz and Company live, just podcast it by searching Stu Gatz and Company. And as always, you can listen live weekdays 3 Eastern, noon Pacific on Fox Sports Radio. This is The Herd.
You got to be consistent.
With Colin Cowherd.
Mic check. Matt Stafford, 1-year deal, $55 million. The Rams can do that and pay that because they've drafted so well that in about 2 years, They got some really good players. Money's going to be due, a lot of them on defense. But what the Rams are doing, and this is why I defended the Ty Simpson pick, and I was shocked by the people that didn't quite understand it. They're trying to master 2 timelines. The number one timeline is win a Super Bowl now and next year. The second timeline is to have their quarterback in place without getting in a bidding war and giving up massive draft capital to get it in 2 years. You either want to be you're either ahead of the market, the Packers, the Rams, the Chiefs, or you're chasing the market, the Jets, Browns, and Raiders forever.
This is The Herd with Colin Cowherd.
Wow.
Weekdays at noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific.
Hello there.
2 pros and a cup of Joe, putting the more in mornings.
I don't even know what that means.
No one knows what it means, but it's provocative.
Jonas Knox.
How you doing? I'm Jonas from Champion Roofers. I'm here to check out your leak.
Brady Quinn. LeVar Arrington.
Now that's a teammate right there.
Can you think of a better combination?
I can think whatever I want.
That's what I thought. It's 2 pros and a cup of Joe. Weekdays at 6 a.m. Eastern, 3 a.m. Pacific on Fox Sports Radio. FS1. To find FS1 on your television, go to foxsports.com for details. FS1. Go to foxsports.com for details. And here's what you need to know.
The Carolina Hurricanes eliminated Montreal, taking Game 5 of the NHL's East Final 6-1. So the East champs will host Vegas Tuesday in Game 1 of the Stanley Cup Final. In the NBA, Oklahoma City's Jalen Williams will miss Game 7 Saturday against the Spurs due to his hamstring injury. What a Friday night in Major League Baseball. Pittsburgh wins on a 2-run homer, bottom of the 9th, 6-5 over Minnesota. The Mets with a 2-run homer in the 10th beat Miami 9-7. White Sox on a 10th inning 2-run homer, 4-3 over Detroit. St. Louis edged the Cubs 6-5. Montreal won in 10 at Houston. Seattle in 10 innings over Arizona. Yankees won their 5th straight. Dodgers won their 6th in a row. Colorado ended a 5-game losing streak, 8-6 against the Giants with 5 runs in the bottom of the 9th on 2 homers. And the Braves won again, 39-19 the record after a win 8-3 at Cincinnati. I'm Steve DeSager.
Let's begin, shall we?
FNA.
Let me tell you something.
Kevin Figures.
My entire take here is moved.
Adam Osley.
There's a conversation to be had.
3, 2, 1. Oh, yeah. They're kicking the weekend off. It's FNA.
Point well taken.
Sound good?
That is so exciting.
Yeah. Live from the Fox Sports Radio studios, here's FNA. Kevin Figures and Adam Osley.
That's right. Final hour of FNA on FSR. Hit us up on X at FNA Show, at KFig1, and at Follow Adam A. Thank you guys for joining us like you do every single week. We thank Mark Medina for joining us last hour talking about the NBA Finals and the new 3-2-1 draft lottery system as well.
Thanks to you guys. Appreciate you all, whether you're chatting with us on the new YouTube side or, at Follow Adam A, at KFig1. There's a lot of different outlets to get to us.
Right.
iHeart, YouTube, your local station, Fox Sports Radio. We are ubiquitous. We are across the radio dial. It's good to be with you guys, though. Coming up in the very next segment, we're going to take your calls, maybe, if you're good enough, on this subject, which involves, do the ends justify the means? To some degree. What's the right thing to do for the player, the organization, and the fan base? Do you look ahead towards the future, or are you living in the moment, the here and now? Because earlier this week with the Dodgers and Shohei Ohtani, they had a decision to make. Now, Shohei has been pitching lights out. His ERA is under 1. He looks like he's about to win the Cy Young.
You win. Although there's question about that, which we can get into in this segment as well.
Fair. But he had a chance to go for a no-hitter where after 6 innings, he was at 99 pitches.
Correct.
And they pulled him.
Yep.
Now, the first thing I thought of was, well, yeah, he's had 2 Tommy John issues.
Somebody get a body bag.
And, he's 2 players in 1. if you lose him as a pitcher, you also lose, debatably, I guess, not really, your best bat.
Depending on the type of injury that it is, you could. I mean, he's had a couple of different seasons. His first one with the Dodgers, one of his seasons with the Angels where he didn't pitch and he only hit.
Yeah.
So he's done it before.
But if it's Tommy John, didn't that take him out with the Angels from hitting for a while too?
Briefly, but he continued to hit for the most part, even after undergoing Tommy John. So it did not affect his ability to hit.
Right. But that was like the season he came back, right? He didn't have Tommy John during the season come back.
No, they shut him down at that point.
Right.
Correct.
So he could be shut down as the superstar Babe Ruth, two-way modern greatest baseball player of all time while they're going for a three-peat, and they'd be just the fourth team ever to complete a three-peat. That's what we're talking about with the history of this Dodgers team. Like, this is kind of a special thing. You might want to worry more about that than whether or not he gets a no-hitter against the Colorado Rockies, by the way. So I don't know how much weight I'd put into it anyways, especially since he walked in a run.
Yeah.
It's not the most impressive no-hitter, I got to say.
Well, I mean, a no-hitter is still a no-hitter. It's still history. Yeah, it's still being able to chase history, but I also understand there's also two schools of thought when it comes to this, and I think we can extrapolate it out to the Cy Young race too, because A.J. Pierzynski had an interesting quote earlier this week when talking about how tight the National League Cy Young race is. And look, it's only May. We have plenty of time to go, but there's a lot of guys who are having phenomenal seasons. Ohtani's one of them. Christopher Sanchez has been spectacular for Philadelphia. Paul Skeens has been great. Chris Sale has been amazing. And if you want to throw in Mason Miller, it's different because he's a reliever, but he's putting up such ridiculous numbers that I guess his name is kind of in the hunt too when it comes to that. But when it comes to Sanchez and Skeens and Sale, so far all those guys have over 65 innings pitched right now. Ohtani's at 55. So not only is his workload in games being managed, whether it's a pitch count or an innings limit in the games he actually pitches, he's only pitching once every 6, and depending on the week in the cycle, once every 7 days. That's going to eat into the amount of innings he pitches, and that can be a direct factor into whether or not he actually competes to win the Cy Young Award, because that's something that people talk about.
Are any of those other guys hitting 400 with multiple bombs the last 15 games?
No, which is why I didn't say anything about the MVP award. I said the Cy Young Award, which Dave Roberts and Dalton Rushing, the Dodgers backup catcher, Ohtani has not said this himself, but they basically, in no uncertain terms, said that this is a goal that Ohtani has set for this season to be able to try to compete and win the Cy Young Award.
He's locked in.
So and look, he's locked in all right. I mean, the production is there. The problem is the volume there. And that's something that can end up working against them. And by the way, if I'm Dave Roberts and anybody in the Dodger organization, my obligation is to the rest of the team and to the fans to try to make sure that this guy is healthy enough to help me win a championship when it matters most. If I win a Cy Young / whatever else on the way there, that's great. But I'm not sabotaging my season or potentially putting this guy who I put $250 million, $750 million into to see if he can chase a Cy Young Award, and then all of a sudden gets hurt, and now he's not with me for the most important time of the year. So I understand it from a Dodger standpoint.
Look, no hitters are for poverty franchises. That's their World Series. The Dodgers are actually trying to win the real World Series. They got bigger fish to fry here. They're not as concerned with a no-hitter. If it was a perfect game, and first of all, he's at 99 pitches with 3 innings left to go. The most pitches he has had since the first Tommy John, his pitch count, the highest he's had, 117. He's going over that. He's going to probably 130 at least, unless the Rockies just go 1, 2, 3 and just ground out over and over again or pop fly immediately. And he didn't have the greatest command that night. Honestly, he'd walk guys in.
Well,
I don't think that was a situation where if you're at 99 pitches, you need to push a guy like that at all. Like it's not unreasonable, even if he wasn't coming off multiple Tommy Johns, to push a guy early in the season to go past at least 130 pitches he's probably going to have to get to.
Well, I'll just say specific with the Dodgers, they've done this before. Clayton Kershaw I don't know if it was a no-hitter. He might have even been perfect. I feel like it was a no-hitter, though.
The Minnesota game was perfect
and
against
he was
the Twins.
8, and that was through. He had pitched 7 perfect innings, and they took him out of that game.
And he was only at 80 pitches.
Correct.
I disagree with that one.
Ross Stripling was a situation. He was a young pitcher who didn't have a lot of experience. I think that was in San Francisco. But they are looking at the long run. Like old school, your favorite manager, Dusty Baker, if he was in this situation, he let the guy in there until his arm fell off. Let him throw 215 pitches if that's what it takes to be able to get there. But I think just modern baseball just doesn't look at it that way, especially to your point. If Ohtani played for the Colorado Rockies and he was no-hitting somebody and he had 99 pitches through 6 innings, you know what? They might let him have at it, even with Tommy John surgeries, because that could be that's a highlight for their entire franchise. They haven't done anything for the past 30 years. That would be something they can talk about forever. But you're chasing something different when you're playing for a franchise like the Dodgers or the Yankees or somebody like that.
You mentioned Kershaw, Ross Stripling, and those incidents with the Dodgers, and they protected their guys. The Kershaw one, to me, that I think is the one that I would criticize most with Dave Roberts or the front office, whoever is making the call there. Just because he's already got the ring. He already is, a perennial Hall of Famer or All-Star. He's going to be a Hall of Famer. It was 2022.
Yeah, he was in the twilight at that point. Yeah.
And he ended up getting hurt later in that season anyways.
Right.
But I think that's one of those check the box type of moments. There's 24 perfect games ever. Yeah. There's almost 400 no-hitters.
Right.
It's not the same thing. And it's Kershaw. And yeah, that would be kind of a big deal if he went for that. And he's only at 80 pitches through 7, not at 99 pitches through 6 like Ohtani.
And he has one. I don't know the stat, and I guess I can find it out. How many pitchers have multiple no-hitters?
Well, yeah, he has a no-hitter, but a perfect game that he's going for, like that to me, that's different. That's history. That is a once-in-a-lifetime event. I mean, I remember where I was when Matt Cain got one in 2012, a perfect game. That is a huge deal, the rarity of those. But people have to understand when you talk about, these guys are wimps or they just let them go and throw 140 pitches. Yeah, maybe go check out average fastball just from 10 years ago to now. Do you wonder why guys are getting hurt more? Because they're throwing harder and harder. And yeah, it can work against them, but the money's so good and you can be so dominant that you put yourself at risk throwing that hard. It's worth it. It is. Guys have realized that, especially when you're the Dodgers. You just bring up the next guy, and then that guy rehabs, goes through Tommy John. He'll be back the next season. You got another young flamethrower. Teams can cycle him in and out. So it's not the same as it used to be. It's not close.
That's just how the sport is built. And this goes all the way down to the youth level where these kids are taught to throw at maximum effort, 100% of the time, where back in the day you were told to kind of pace yourself. That's why guys threw more pitches back then. Yeah, now guys are just throwing maximum effort from the age of 15. This is why kids are getting Tommy John surgeries younger and younger, and why arms are getting blown. Like Mizorowski, we can all go crazy and talk about how he's hitting 103 on the gun, 54 times in a game or whatever. I hope it's not the case, and I hope he has a rubber arm. But historically, he's going to have Tommy John down the road somewhere, throwing this hard this often.
It's a rite of passage.
The stats are against him on that.
It's just how it is. Your body is not meant to throw that hard, but you can do it for a while and you can be so dominant and you can make so much money. Damn it, it's worth it. It is. And then you come back and you're Ohtani and you've had 2 Tommy Johns and you still throw 100 miles per hour.
Yeah. The issue, I won't even call it an issue for me, but I will say, the individual awards being a byproduct of a greater impact that you have on the team. I look at Kurt Schilling as an example. Like, Kurt never won a Cy Young. I think he was the runner-up 2 or 3 times. But
his regular season numbers, his ERA is like 3.5.
They're good.
Not crazy.
They're not dominant. They're good. But he won 3 World Series, co-MVP with Randy Johnson with the D-backs. And he said himself he would love to have won a Cy Young, but he felt most fulfilled and felt the best when his teammates told him, "We want you to be on the mound for the most important games." He said that's when he felt the most fulfilled, even more so than winning a Cy Young. Being the guy that the team goes to when it matters the most. And so I'm sure Ohtani is kind of similar in that situation. Yes, he wants to win the Cy Young, but you're going to be remembered more for what you do in the biggest moments. Now, he didn't pitch particularly well in Game 7 last year at the World Series against Toronto. Didn't necessarily end up mattering. They ended up winning anyway. But that's why he's there for. you want him to be in a position to start Game 7 for you in the World Series, not end up getting hurt in June because you pushed him to the max against the Rockies in May.
This is his first full season, we hope, that he's, at maximum powers with the hitting and pitching. The hitting starting to come back around now. I mentioned the last 15 games, he's hitting 400. He's had multiple bombs. He looks much better at the plate. And the pitching is otherworldly. You meld those two things, yes, modern-day Babe Ruth and then some. This is the greatest player of all time, easily. There is no debate. And then you do it in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Well, now you're definitely the greatest of all time.
I will say unique for him, because you talk about him being the greatest of all time, and there's still some debate about this. I know our colleague Rob Parker, when he had that crazy game in the NLCS last year against Milwaukee, and we all pretty much consensus said it was the greatest individual performance we've ever seen on a baseball field. And Rob was like, no, it's not. And I was like, okay, well, what was better? But anyway.
Rob's doing the same thing right now. Oh, yeah. He's doing it against bad teams. If you look at the teams that he's dominating with his pitching right now, it's the Rockies. Who cares?
You have to play against who's in front of you. That's all you can do. But I'll say this. If he wins the Cy Young, he likely also win the MVP award again, which would mean he'd have 5 MVPs and a Cy Young. He would unquestionably be the best player in the history of the sport. I think he is already, to be honest with you. But I think that was solidified because Ohtani winning 5 MVPs and 1 Cy Young, not to sound sacrilegious to your boy, but that blows Barry Bonds winning 7 MVPs out of the water to me.
Well, yeah.
Because you dominated on both sides. That's 5 MVPs and a Cy Young award beats 7 MVPs to me.
And the baggage with Barry and him being that good, that old, and the eye test and Game of Shadows, the book, we know what he was doing to get to that level. Ohtani, there are no accusations of anything like that. I think last season he hit and pitched in the playoffs at such a high level that sealed it for me. You win a World Series doing both of those things in modern baseball, where everybody has and knows your flaws, where everybody knows what to pick up on with analytics, where there are holes in your swing, what pitches are your strikeout pitches, and what do you struggle with. Ohtani doing this in the modern era, there's nothing else like it. I don't understand why some people aren't appreciating it enough. I guess I'm only talking about Rob Parker because it feels like everybody else is.
Well, be the contrarian that he is,
Yeah.
So I will say this too. If you're a casual fan and you don't have a dog in the race when it comes to the Dodgers, or, when a great player is playing in a situation like this, you do want to see him go for the Cy Young. The novelty of it is phenomenal.
Kershaw won Cy Young and MVP.
He did. Yeah. Yeah.
Just because his pitching was so good alone.
Right.
He had a few jacks here and there.
And I think Verlander did too. But the point is, like, if you separate yourself from, if Ohtani's playing for, if you're a Dodger fan and Ohtani's playing for the Mets or whoever, you want to be able to tune in and see this guy play every single night. You want to see great players play at the highest level and achieve the greatest accomplishments. So if I'm a casual fan that's not a Dodger fan, I would love to see the Dodgers push Ohtani and see what he can do and see if he can win a Cy Young, to be able to say that I witnessed history. Yeah. I want to be able to say that I saw Kobe score 81, that I saw Barry Bonds break Hank Aaron's record, that I saw Shohei Ohtani win the Cy Young award and the MVP and the award in the same season, where he hit 50 bombs and had an ERA that was sub-2. People want to be able to brag about the fact that I saw that.
Yeah. But I just push him within reason. He's at 99 pitches. He's only through 6 innings.
Yeah, but see, if I'm the team, I ain't pushing jack. I'm talking about what I want as a casual. What I want as a fan and as a member of that Dodger organization is for this guy to be as healthy as he possibly can by the time we get to September, October. That is literally all I care about. If Ohtani needs to sit down for the next 4 months to be ready to go in the postseason, then damn it, so be it. Because that's what ultimately matters.
The Dodgers have always prioritized championships like anyone should. Right. And if it means you don't get a no-hitter where you walk in a run against the Rockies, and it would have been a cool night, I don't know. I think you sacrifice those things willingly to try to three-peat this year.
If it means also that you are giving him extra rest, 6 days and 7 days, and impacting his innings limit so that it affects his ability to win the Cy Young award, it's all done with the exact same intent to keep him as fresh as possible. I will sacrifice that too.
Well, and if I'm a voter with the Cy Young, There's no perfect criteria for any of this stuff.
No. It's all subjective.
I am going to factor in that he is hitting. So even though he's not on as tight of a pitching schedule and his pitch count is much tighter than those other guys, I do not give a damn. What he's doing is much more taxing overall. I have to factor in he also is hitting out there. I'm sorry. That's going to elevate things for me. If your ERA is under 1 and you're hitting the way he has been the last couple of weeks, yes, I'm also going to put that into the Cy Young vote. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's undeniable for me, but I just know how certain voters are,
yeah.
and they would absolutely hold that against them.
Some definitely will. I don't think Ohtani is well liked, so I don't think they're looking for anything. When you go back to Bonds,
this isn't a Barry situation.
Bonds
no.
had to be so good and just so great, because if there was any little thing they could pick at with him, and there wasn't any testing back then that came back positive, so they let that go, they would have dinged him for it. They would have.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we want to get your thoughts on this at 877-99 on Fox. The ability to chase history, whether it's a no-hitter, hell, whether it even is a perfect game, or whether it is a Cy Young award. Being able to have an individual, a player as dominant as Ohtani, be able to chase an individual accomplishment versus holding some back in the tank so that he's available for you in the postseason. I'm interested in which one you prioritize. Which one is most important for you? Do you want to be able to witness history, or do you want to be able to witness someone be able to try to go back to back to back and win multiple World Series? I want it all. I think in a perfect world, especially if you're a Dodger fan, you absolutely do.
Yeah, they get it all.
877-99 on Fox. Your call's coming up next. F&A on FSR.
Keep up with all of your NFL offseason news.
Come on!
At Fox Sports Radio, when it affects your team.
I'm a Niners fan.
Jets, yo.
At Fox Sports Radio, when your divisional rival makes a move. At Fox Sports Radio.
And some of this stuff we really need to talk about.
Go ahead.
At Fox Sports Radio.
What's up, fools? Main event Jay Uso here from the WWE. When it's just me between matches, it's day one-ish. And that means it's Chumba time. With hundreds of casino-style games and new titles arriving weekly, there's always something fresh to try at Chumba Casino. The daily boosts make it even more fun. And have me about to get them all during my downtime. Ready for a fun way to chill out and enjoy
Well,
a few
Ross
minutes
from
for
St.
yourself?
Pete left.
Let's chump.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. See T's and C's. 21 plus. Sponsored by Chumba Casino.
Professional wrestling fans, the action continues every week. Watch TNA Thursday Night Impact every week on AMC.
It is like electricity flowing through your veins.
Don't miss the adrenaline, the drama, and the total non-stop action.
No one can ever be as good as this right here.
Don't miss the action of TNA Thursday Night Impact every week on AMC. For showtimes and more information, visit TNAWrestling.com.
Did you know we're on YouTube? Fox Sports Radio. You can find all of your favorite shows on YouTube.
Look at us. We're waving at you right now.
Did you know that you can find the best clips and the best videos from your favorite shows?
All the interviews, clips, everything is there.
This is why you're the smartest listeners in the world.
Completely agree.
Because you went to YouTube and you searched Fox Sports Radio, and you were the ones that hit the subscribe button and the notification bell. You're the ones that watch videos from Two Pros and a Cup of Joe with Jonas Knox, Brady Quinn, and LeVar Arrington.
You can't even make this up.
Dan Patrick, Colin Cowherd, Stu Gatz and Company. Live. It's so good. Cavino and Rich. Oh, yeah. The Odd Couple with Rob Parker and Kelvin Washington. The Jason Smith Show with Mike Harmon.
Think about that for a second.
And the Ben Maller Show.
Fox Sports Radio.
On YouTube. Wow. By searching Fox Sports Radio.
Check us out on YouTube. Subscribe. Hit that thumbs up icon and comment away.
If you have unfiled taxes or are in debt to the IRS, this is important news. Did you know the IRS has programs specifically designed to help people struggling with tax debt? Powerful tax assistance programs that can save you thousands if you qualify. No one knows these programs better than the experts at Optima Tax Relief, America's most trusted tax resolution firm, A-rated by the Better Business Bureau. Their award-winning tax attorneys and licensed professionals have resolved over $3 billion of tax debt for their clients. One call to Optima can start the process, helping to put an end to your worries about wage garnishment, asset seizure, and other aggressive IRS actions. Find the best options to solve your tax problems. Call the experts at Optima Tax Relief today for a free consultation.
All right, we got Tim from New York here. Wants to talk Ohtani, Cy Young MVP.
800-627-7754. 800-627-7754.
Optima Tax Relief. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com. He's Steve Cavino.
Kick it.
He's Rich Davis.
I thought of like the worst idea possible.
It's Cavino and Rich.
We are in a serious situation here.
They're dropping knowledge.
Everything about it is stupid.
And names.
We did an interview with Jay-Z, and Cavino's like, yo, quick pick. And Jay's like, no. He's like, no.
What up, Cavino and Rich?
It's Cavino and Rich.
Bringing it to the entire nation.
Weekdays at 5 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Pacific on Fox Sports Radio. And now, here's a little something that you missed from the Ben Maller Show.
Think of it like instant mashed potatoes. Just add some water. Where are you at on these latest revelations that quarterback Jackson Dart had to address his Giants teammates over introducing President Donald Trump? So my view on this, I got Hoagie, Orange Julius, and Dental Outlaw. This has got to be the dumbest controversy that we've seen in a while. You know what it is? It's designer outrage is what it is. I put this in the faux category. I mentioned this in a previous edition. Jackson Dart introduces the sitting president of the United States, something that athletes have done sporadically over the years, where usually at political rallies. Normally it's not for a sitting president, but somebody that is running for re-election. So technically a sitting president that will run for re-election or something like that. This has been going on decades. Whether it's not all football players, mostly not, but LeBron James has done this. He was campaigning for his preferred political candidates and whatnot. And while I certainly do not love this mindset, I'll talk more about that in a minute. This is the line in the sand that's been drawn here. And now Jackson Dart has been forced to a truth and let's make up group meeting, I guess is the way I would describe it. Something along those lines. It is a one-way street, is what I'm trying to say. And everyone knows it. And it's like one of those things. Like if Dart had introduced a president, like if Joe Biden was still the president and he said, here's Joe Biden, the president of the United States, they would name a hoagie after him in Manhattan.
To get the rest of what Big Ben said, podcast it by searching The Ben Maller Show. And as always, you can hear The Ben Maller Show weekdays from 2 a.m. Eastern, 11 p.m. Pacific, right here on Fox Sports Radio.
3, 2, 1.
It's Stu Gotts.
Yes.
And he Gotts Company.
I love that.
Stu Gotts and Company. Live.
That's what he's doing. Unapologetic.
And they're blending sports.
Listen, kicking's an individual sport.
With whatever they want.
I once went to 11 consecutive dead shows at Madison Square Garden.
Sometimes I like to talk. It's Stu Gotts and Company live. Listen weekdays at 3 p.m. Eastern, 12 p.m. Pacific, right here on Fox Sports Radio. You listen at all hours of the day.
We're live and local in your eardrum.
Yeah. You even have your favorites.
I've always listened to the show.
Some of you even like to express your love through a tweet.
A tweet from Drew.
Or a call.
I think you guys do an incredible job.
It's a great thing. You guys do a good job. Y'all are killing it on Fox Sports Radio.
There are so many reasons why you listen to us. And for that, we say thank you. Thank you. Thank you for all the love you continue to show us. This is Fox Sports Radio. The most fearless voice in sports is on FS1. The one and only Colin Cowherd is bold, unique, and outspoken.
Wow.
You can see him on The Herd, weekdays at noon Eastern on FS1 in the Fox Sports app.
Welcome back to Hardball.
F&A.
Tim from New York.
It is F&A on Fox Sports Radio. I'm Adam Mosley. He's Kevin Figures. If you missed any of today's show, you'll want to catch the podcast. Just search Fox Sports Radio wherever you get your podcasts. Right after the show, today's podcast will be posted. Be sure to follow the podcast, rate it 5 stars, and you can even provide a review. Again, just search Fox Sports Radio wherever you get your podcasts. Follow the feed, and you'll find today's full show posted right after we get off the air. Kevin, we got some callers that want to weigh in on this Ohtani situation and that pitch count.
Lines are lighting up. I guess it's a good subject.
Tim in New York.
Okay, let's go. What do we have?
What's
hey,
up,
this
Tim?
is Tim, long-time caller, first-time listener.
How are we doing for you, Tim?
It's great.
It's an interesting dynamic there, Tim. I hear what you did there.
I'm usually not up this early on a Saturday, but I'm on a road trip. Anyway, I want to talk out of both sides of my mouth. Try my radio skills here.
That's how we do it.
Ohtani wants to win the Cy Young. I frankly couldn't care less about that. I think every pitcher wants to win the award. Just because he wants to win it doesn't mean he should get it. However, I'm thinking about the debacle in the NBA and the games limit. I don't think we should really be too focused on, innings totals, how many, if he's pitching every seventh day. We should just give the Cy Young to the best pitcher. Who cares if it's Mason Miller pitching, one inning a night, or if it's Shohei Ohtani pitching once every week? If he's the best pitcher, give it to him.
Well, is he the best pitcher, though, because he has an easier load, so to speak, or schedule? Does that make things easier for him? I think that should be taken into account.
Yeah, the amount of games that you pitch in, the amount of innings that you pitch, talk about the games limit in the NBA. If a guy is the most dominant player in the NBA, but he only plays in 48 games, you could vote for him for him. I guess now you can't, but previously you could vote for him for MVP if you wanted to. But would anybody actually ever want to do that? I wouldn't think so. So there's limits in there for a reason.
If a guy's playing once a week, he gets to conserve his energy, and therefore, he should impact the game whenever he's out there. It's not quite the same thing.
His hitting matters.
I agree with you.
No, I'm with you.
We're factoring that in when it comes to Ohtani. Some
Agreed.
Cy Young voters may not.
Right. That's our point. The fact that he's also hitting and he's pitching, the fatigue factor, the mental load, all of that. And the fact that he's able to excel at pitching, regardless of the fact that if he's doing it on regular rest,
He
or
had
on
no
6 or
idea what he
7
was
days
talking
rest,
about.
I'm taking that into account.
Is
and actually
Ohtani
giving
a
him
switch
credit
hitter?
for that, Tim. So I'm with you on that.
Does he pitch and hit?
All right, thanks for taking my call. I'll be back next weekend.
Sounds
John
good, Tim.
from
Thanks for
South
listening, man.
Dakota.
Appreciate it. All right. Who do we have next?
John in South Dakota. You went to John? John, what's up? You're on
Let's go
FNM,
Jackrabbits.
Fox
Come on.
Sports Radio.
Yeah, I'm talking about pitchers and hitters.
Okay.
He's a good pitcher. Yeah, he's a good pitcher, right? The Cy Young Award. How many hitters are with the pitchers on the Cy Young Award?
There's no other guy that's hitting regularly like Ohtani is.
Exactly. So how many pitchers have designated hitters? About 3 or 4 under Major League Baseball.
You mean how many pitchers have been designated hitters? Is that what you're asking?
No, how many pitchers that are going for the Cy Young Award have actually designated hitters? Because when the pitchers come up, they don't want to get hit or get actually injured or anything like that. So they get a designated hitter to go hit for them because these pitchers are usually not good hitters, right?
Yeah, yes. Well, back when the National League did not have the designated hitter, generally speaking, I say the great majority of pitchers would just kind of stand up there and just not swing and try not to get hurt.
Although a pitcher home run derby would be interesting.
Yeah, good luck signing up for that. Yeah. Sorry, our pitcher, tore his oblique swinging out of his ass, and now he's out for the season.
I'm just saying that's the only way Madison Bumgarner could get back in the league is hitting.
Yeah, I mean he was a good hitting pitcher for sure.
But he's an idiot. No. He's a good kicker. He's an idiot. I'm sorry, that's what that sounded like a little bit to me. John, anything else? You were talking hitting, pitching, and drinking. What were you talking about?
Torn rotator cuff.
Yeah, that'll happen.
On a pitcher.
Yeah, that does happen.
That's a fact. Those are the risks we take.
Just heal me.
Thanks for the phone call, John.
Yeah, John, enjoy the rest of the night / morning / whatever day it is, and enjoy whatever beverage you are having.
Was he talking about designated hitters or designated pitchers or what just happened there?
Yeah.
Not an Ohtani guy. Obviously not much of a baseball fan, maybe.
Yeah, well, I guess I understood what he was trying to gather. Pitchers.
Then tell me.
Pitchers are generally automatic outs, and Ohtani is not. Of course, the difference is Ohtani is not strictly a pitcher, never was.
Hitters can also be automatic outs. Just look at the San Francisco Giants.
Oh, look at you.
I can do that.
It's so funny.
Yes, you can.
Okay,
I'm
anyway.
from there.
But But you got your 3 World Series, right? So you're good for life, right? At this point.
3 and 5 years.
Yeah, you'll take it.
3 and 5 years, Kevin, and they were
By the
all
way,
legit.
Yeah, and one of the stars of those
Kevin from
teams, the
Denver,
architect
who's
of
had
the
a few
current
he
San
wants to
Francisco
talk about,
Giants, is
comparing
doing a
it to
bang-up
Ricky
job
Henderson.
with that organization. You
All
hire
right.
a college coach, you demote your third base coach because he doesn't know what he's doing. Really, really stellar work by Buster Posey out there in San Francisco right now.
Kevin calling in from Denver.
I'm just going to completely ignore that one.
No,
All right, Adam.
hey, look, Buster Posey's only in a year and a half so far. Give him time, Kevin.
Is that enough?
There's a big teardown going on. And
It is. When's the reconstruction going to start?
as soon as they find a trade partner for Chapman
Right.
or Adames. Kevin? in
Kevin,
Denver.
what's up?
Kevin, what's up?
Yeah, just back in the day, there was, I'm not a big baseball fan, but back in the day, Ricky Henderson broke the all-time steal record. Stealing base.
Yeah, he told everyone he was the greatest.
Yes.
On
Picked up the
same
base,
day-
the whole thing.
On the same day, Nolan Ryan pitched his 7th no-hitter. And Nolan Ryan's the biggest badass ever. So I just wanted to pass that along. I remember, I don't know if you...
Same guy, Ross from St. Pete.
All right. Well, Robin Ventura would agree with you. He was a badass. He proved it many times.
The one crazy stat. I'm sure a lot of people, and I guess it's knowledge now because I feel like it's been thrown out there so
Ross
often
from
throughout the
St.
years.
Pete.
But you just assume that Nolan Ryan, one of the great pitchers in the history of the sport, I think he pitched for 23 years.
Yeah.
Never won a Cy Young.
Did he ever have Tommy John?
I don't believe so.
Was that the magical rubber arm where you make a deal with the devil to be able to pitch that long and throw that hard?
Probably. Yeah.
All
Nolan Ryan was a true unicorn for his time. But as dominant as he was, as
Ross,
great as he was,
St.
never
Pete,
once won a Cy Young
Florida.
award. It's very, very surprising.
All right. Ross calling in from St. Pete, Florida. Ross, you're on F&A on Fox Sports Radio.
Oh, for the red hot Rays. Come on, Ross. What's
Hey,
going on?
Yeah, Rays
No,
good.
the Rays are great this year.
Slump, yep, they've been surprisingly good.
It's a tough
and
division.
They came in. Well, not this year. I mean, it's the Yankees and the Rays right now. Red Sox dead in the water. Orioles. Anyways, I was on hold earlier, but I heard the last guy you guys talk about Nolan Ryan kind of stole my thunder. I was going to talk about just in general the babying of pitching because Nolan Ryan had 222 complete games. And I know earlier we were talking about average velocity. His average velocity was 96.98. Current velocity is 94.95. Maddox had 109 complete games. I don't think he ever touched above 90.
You can't
Johnson
compare everyone to Nolan Ryan and
Yeah,
say,
we-
why can't they all just be Nolan Ryans?
We
He's
did-
Nolan Ryan for a reason.
We did just say, Ross, that he was a unicorn in his time.
Jesus.
Absolute
Yeah,
unicorn.
well, that's also why I mentioned Maddox, who didn't throw hard, 109 complete games.
Well, that's the
Johnson
point.
threw 100.
Yeah, those
Schilling-
guys.
Average ball by year. Do you disagree that guys are throwing harder?
Yeah, on average.
Well,
yes.
that's the point. And
Yeah.
and that's
But
why
Nolan Ryan still averages more than the current average.
that's one guy.
But that's one guy.
That's one compared
was
to everyone
transcendent
throwing
compared-
harder now overall.
Everybody in his era, he was like, again, he was a unicorn in his era, in his time. Nobody else was
Okay.
doing what he was doing.
Terrible argument.
But if anything, I'm going to argue this, and you're going to disagree, but it's the same thing as all the stat nerds coming in talking about, hey, min-max, analytical. There was a place and a time for that.
Hey, you know who's running baseball right now? The stat nerds for the Dodgers. And they're
Yeah.
trying to three-peat.
And
And
the
also
Tampa
their
Bay
bank
Rays,
accounts
who are
and
your
their
Tampa Bay
funding
Rays, who
money.
are killing it right now. They are the analytic nerds.
All those, every
Yeah, well,
baseball
talk
team
to-
has an analytics department. So
Well, except for the Angels, and so you can see where they are. So
Well, the Angels are where your career goes to die. But that's a whole other discussion.
don't I know it?
I mean,
every
talking-
team that wins the World Series is doing it to some degree through analytics.
Oh, yes. But again, the whole reason Joe Madden doesn't want to come back and manage is because analytics are overriding common sense in some things. Talk about Blake Snell and his decision. It wasn't his. It was Kevin Cash's decision.
It was Kevin
for him.
Cash, yeah.
So
yeah, exactly. Because Kevin Cash manages by a computer. Anyways, I know I've a long time, and thank you guys for entertaining me. What I'm saying is,
you're using the extremes and the exceptions to the rule to act like this is how it is all the time. Because Cashman made a terrible decision there with Blake Snell does not mean analytics does not work.
I'm not saying analytics doesn't work. I'm saying analytics are being leaned on to such a degree that it's taking away from common sense baseball. Same thing with pitchers' arms.
Do you think because it works, maybe that's why they're leaning on it so much? Could that
works for who? Like who?
The world champions?
Everybody.
The Dodgers, the people who are spending the most. All right. Agree to disagree, gentlemen. Have a great rest of your night.
Thank you, Ross. And by the way, the architect of this Dodger run that they've been on came from your Tampa St. Petersburg Rays area. He brought his system to the Dodgers. Now, it's the Rays system on steroids and peptides and any other drugs you can think of, HGH, sure. But the foundation of that system is still there. That's why they've been so successful. Yes, they have money, but the infrastructure of their system, that's why guys you've never heard of, like Justin Robleski, are coming up and are lights out. You know,
their scouting is also unreal, and it always has been.
Right.
But every team, who's it working for?
Everyone
that won a baseball game tonight, it worked for. That's who. Like, to act like it doesn't work because of that stupid ass move in 2020 with Blake Snell, and that proves you right when the team that they lost to still was using analytics the right way or applying it correctly and interpreting things the right way. People just like saying nerds a lot. Like they just want to act like back in my day it was more machismo and that's what it was about. And you get hurt, you just rub some dirt on it.
I will acknowledge this, like as someone who loves nuance in sports, like the fact that different teams find different ways to win, I enjoy that. And a lot of that has been lost in Major League Baseball, but it's because you talk about the stats and the analytics and all that. It is provable that if you lean into those, especially if you're at a talent deficiency in certain areas, leaning into the analytics levels the playing field for you. That is why teams like Tampa Bay can win. That's why the Royals, when they went on their run to the back-to-back World Series, that's why they were able to win. That's how you level the playing field.
Or it's why a team that shouldn't be able to compete at all in the A's with Billy Beane was able to overachieve and maximize their talent. And even though they didn't win it all, they still were punching way above their weight class because they figured out, on-base percentage. We can lead to more runs here. Watch Moneyball. This stuff matters.
And by the way, the Rays are impressive in that they're actually zigging while everybody else is zagging yet again. You know, one of the pioneers when it came to analytics and getting the ball in the air and all that, they're now doing the opposite. They're playing small ball. They're slapping balls left and right. They're making contact. They're not striking out. They've now that everybody is talking about launch angles and hitting home runs, they're not doing that, and they're finding a way to be able to win. It's all about trying to stay ahead of the curve and try to find ways and edges to be able to win.
And teams wouldn't copy stuff, and maybe this will be the new trend if it didn't work.
Right.
Like they would love to have their own unique identity, and if the Braves can carve that out and it's sustainable, great. But then teams will start copying that too.
Right. I would love to have a diverse pitching staff where you have one guy that pitches to contact who tops out at 82 and one guy that pitches, 114 miles an hour and another guy that's in the middle. That ain't how Major League Baseball is built. And honestly, that's not how these kids are being taught as kids coming up. If you're not throwing 100 miles an hour by the time you're 16, it ain't working for you. I'm exaggerating, but only slightly. That is where the game is right now. So you either do it or you don't play baseball. That's how it works.
Well said, Kevin.
I'm just saying,
Coming up next, are we going back to college football for a second?
There is some trash talk in the state of Texas, and I am here for it.
Are we opening up the Talk S hotline?
Yes, we are. I love it.
Is it back?
Get into it. Some college football trash talk in the Lone Star State coming up next. F&A on FSR.
Your NBA Finals are almost set. The Knicks have punched their ticket.
Dick from Dayton wants to talk about the Cavaliers.
Are on their way to the NBA Finals.
Keep it locked for reactions, and we'll let you know who will join them in the final. Your NBA Finals news on Fox Sports Radio. Did you know we're on YouTube? Fox Sports Radio. You can find all of your favorite shows on YouTube.
Look at us. We're waving at you right now.
Did you know that you can find the best clips and the best videos from your favorite shows?
All the interviews, clips, everything is there.
This is why you're the smartest listeners in the world.
Completely agree.
Because you went to YouTube and you searched Fox Sports Radio, and you were the ones that hit the subscribe button and the notification bell. You're the ones that watch videos from Two Pros and a Cup of Joe with Jonas Knox, Brady Quinn, and LeVar Arrington.
You can't even make this up.
Dan Patrick, Colin Cowherd, Stu Gatz, and company. Live.
It's so good.
Covino and Rich. Oh, yeah. The Odd Couple with Rob Parker and Kelvin Washington. The Jason Smith Show with Mike Harmon.
Think about that for a second.
And the Ben Maller Show. Fox Sports Radio. On YouTube.
Wow.
By searching Fox Sports Radio.
Check us out on YouTube. Subscribe. Hit that thumbs up icon. And comment away.
Let's go! You must have been busy, but The Odd Couple with Rob Parker and Kelvin Washington. We're breaking this down.
Every day I'm shuffling.
Mookie Betts, who, is going through a lot of injuries, had an uneven year last year, scuffling this year, was on an injured list, come back. He bounced back in a big way, right? He's been scuffling all year. But, Rob G, we found out something about his social media.
Yeah, maybe one of the reasons why he jumped out of that slump last night is because he, according to himself, deleted his social media accounts from his phone early in the week, saying he was losing sleep over some of the comments that he was getting from fans.
And that's all good and well, and I hear you. I mean, if you don't want to be on it, I'm not going to sit here and tell you have to be on it and have to be a part of it. But Mookie Betts is en route to the Baseball Hall of Fame. If he gets healthy and continues, you know what I mean, like the –
he got 4 rings. He's going
right, and if he continues to do what he's doing, right, like get back to, because he hasn't been himself for 2 years. Could you admit
That's
that?
true.
Like 2 years.
And I think him getting sick, he lost some power.
Yeah, and that's where fans are frustrated because Mookie Betts was a en route Hall of Fame player, right? And when he was going good, the Dodgers were going good and winning, and I understand fans being disappointed. Right, that Mookie's not. When you're batting under 200, you're Mookie Betts. Are you serious?
Right.
This is a big guy. But the other thing is, and I think this is where people get caught up in the social media, and maybe you could explain because I'm an older guy. For Mookie to think that the reason he's struggling is because of the negative energy from outside is no more the reason that when you were playing.
To get the rest of what The Odd Couple said, podcast it by searching Odd Couple. And as always, you can listen to The Odd Couple with Rob Parker and Kelvin Washington. Weekdays at 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific, right here on Fox Sports Radio. This is Two Pros and a Cup of Joe.
Yeah, baby. George Kittle, he had some thoughts on this 18-game schedule, this 18-game season that feels like it's a foregone conclusion.
So you sign a contract to play 16 games. They added the 17th game, and you don't get paid any more money. Your paycheck just gets cut an extra time.
This is all collectively bargained. This wasn't a surprise. It's been in the CBA. So either the NFLPA, which obviously has its own issues, isn't informing players well enough of what is actually in the CBA. Guys aren't reading it, or guys who are part of it don't understand it.
He probably is uninformed. He could be informed. Kittle, you're allowed to have your opinion, whether it's right or wrong, I guess, but maybe you should make sure you're educated on what it is that's taking place.
Two Pros, LeVar Arrington, Brady Quinn, and a Cup of Joe, Jonas Knox. 6 a.m. Eastern, 3 a.m. Pacific on Fox Sports Radio. And now, Steve Covino.
Oh, boy.
Rich Davis. This is Covino and Rich.
Kyler Murray is getting a generous second shot here where some are like, Kyler Murray stunk in Arizona. I mean, he had 1 year, right? There was 1 year where it was like, ooh, this is going in the right direction. But other than that, his time in Arizona will not be remembered as positive, right? I mean,
the only thing he has on McCarthy at this point is more
reps, more snaps.
Yeah.
Listen, J.J. McCarthy comes from the Jim Harbaugh, Michigan blueprint where Jim Harbaugh raved about him.
He's a winner.
He raved the attitude, everything about him. And then you look at Kyler Murray, could have played baseball, could have played football, the athlete, the all-around athlete. And I wonder where you look at those two now, where it looks like Kyler hasn't worked out in the NFL so far. And JJ hasn't. And JJ hasn't had a great start. So are they sort of equal in your mind, Covino?
They're sort of equal.
Covino and Rich, weekdays at 5 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Pacific on Fox Sports Radio. When you call yourself the premier sports lineup in the nation, you have to back it up.
Unapologetic.
Well, my friends, we do. Check these names: Dan Patrick, Colin Cowherd, LeVar Arrington, Brady Quinn, Jonas Knox, Stu Gotson Company, Cavino and Rich, Rob Parker, Kelvin Washington, Ben Maller, Jason Smith, and Mike Harmon. Boom. Is that premier enough? Listen to all those names right here. Really? On Fox Sports Radio. FS1. To find FS1 on your television, go to foxsports.com for details. FS1. Go to foxsports.com for details.
Sometimes people deserve more. F&A, Cotton. F&A.
For the best pregame show every weekend, be sure to tune into Fox Sports Radio's Countdown presented by BetMGM. Every Saturday and Sunday morning from 9 a.m. to noon Eastern, 6 to 9 a.m. Pacific, we will count you down to all of the biggest games of the weekend. Tune in to Countdown presented by BetMGM every Saturday and Sunday morning right here on Fox Sports Radio and the iHeart app.
Before we get out of here tonight, we got to go to 7 drink. Steve Sarkisian.
Jeez.
What? Talk about old stuff.
Man has been through so much and dug himself out of the doldrums, landed himself a nice cushy job at the University of Texas.
He's doing well for himself, which is why I can make jokes now.
Yeah, it was putting his foot in his mouth is what he's doing right now.
Uh-oh.
So had some comments a few weeks ago about Ole Miss and their admissions and making fun of basket weaving classes and all that.
He did do that.
So speaks at another event last week talking about the strength of schedule when it comes to the CFP and took a shot. Now, he didn't mention Texas Tech by name directly, but doesn't take too many guesses to figure out who he's talking about when he says this. He said, quote, "There's a team in our state that plays in another conference that has a schedule that I would argue if I played with our 2s and their 3s, we would go undefeated, and they'll probably make the CFP this year." He's obviously talking about Texas Tech, the other team in the state that plays in the Big 12 conference that made it to the playoff this year. Texas did not. So Joey McGuire, the head coach at Texas Tech, caught wind of this, and here's his response to what Steve Sarkisian had to say.
There's no way they're talking about us because Sark's a pretty tough guy. His teams are really tough, and I would think that if he was talking about us, that he would call us out. Like he wouldn't just say, just kind of this comment of, well, there's another team in our state. I've actually talked to Keith Patterson and I've talked to GJ Kinney, and they're willing to take our games, and Abilene Christian will go to Texas State. We'll buy our contract out of Abilene Christian. I'm sure because Texas has got a lot of money, they can buy their contract out. But I do know there's a lot of Red Raiders that will help them buy that contract out if they don't want to. And they can come to Lubbock week 1. And, we can figure out if their 2s and 3s can win this conference. And I know a lot of people are going to say a lot of stuff about me or about us. We didn't score in the playoffs. That's obvious. You can take a shot at us for that. We didn't score in the playoffs. The last time we played Texas, we got beat 57-7. And he played some of his 2s and 3s. They kicked the crap out of us. But, man, we would love to play the University of Texas week 1 in Lubbock. I do know that Cody Campbell reached out to Stephen Jones, so they don't want to come to Lubbock, and we're going to work on trying to get AT&T week 1. So if they want to play week 1, then we're ready. We would love to play the University of Texas.
Tell him, Joey. I love it. Wow. Every single second of it. Really, Sark, your 2s and 3s can beat us?
I'm your Huckleberry.
Then let's line it up. We have these 2 pay-for games. We, Texas Tech, playing Abilene Christian in week 1 or week 0. UT is playing Texas State. Matter of fact, Cody Campbell, our big-time booster, will pay the buyout for both of those teams so the 2 of us can play. You come to our home in Lubbock.
Now what, bitch?
Yeah. Oh, you don't want to come to our home in Lubbock? Cool. I'll talk to Steven and Jerry Jones. We'll play it at the Dallas Cowboys Stadium. How about that?
There is no escape.
But you know what? Do you hear that? Dead silence. I ain't heard Sark say anything since then. That was on Thursday. So we're working on almost close to 48 hours. And Sark and UT and all those people in Austin haven't said a damn thing ever since.
Come on.
Now, if I'm to be honest, if they were to schedule that game, I would pick Texas to win. I think Texas is better.
Sure.
But I love the fact that Texas, we're not backing down. You want to sit there and talk that talk, then walk it too.
I like that they acknowledge their shortcomings there. Joey talking about how bad Oregon beat them up in that playoff game and the last
honest.
time they played Texas. You got to get out in front of it. You got to be like Eminem and 8 Mile. Don't let them use that as ammo against you. You do it to yourself.
And look, I know they got their ass kicked by Oregon in that playoff game last year, but Texas Tech has come a long way from even a year or 2 years ago. Cody Campbell is the real deal. A lot of money into that program. If Brendan Sorsby is eligible and does end up playing, Texas Tech is going to be in the playoff again this year. And they're going to be a force to be reckoned with in the Big 12. They are not going to be a walkover. They're not somebody you want to see. And by the way, Texas in week 2 of this year, this is where they pay off their home against Ohio State.
Right.
So
they don't want a tough game before they play Ohio State.
Then don't talk.
Yeah.
Shut the bleep up about what everybody else is doing. You play in the big, bad SEC. If you're UT, run the table, do what you do in your schedule in the SEC, be better, make the playoff. Don't talk about what somebody else is doing unless you're willing to back up the trash talk.
I agree with you. Now, if they played their 2s and 3s, would they actually maybe have a better quarterback under center than Arch Manning?
Oh.
Like, would that actually work in Texas's favor?
The crazy part is, like, Arch Manning came on, played better towards the end of last season, and then everybody's like, oh, he's going to be great. But now, because it's talking season, as Steve Spurrier would say, and we've had more and more time, now people are back to like, is he really that good, though? We're really going to see this year. I know this, as of now, and it doesn't mean anything right now in May, knocking on the door of June. He's projected to be the first overall pick in the draft. He has the talent, obviously. We've seen it.
Was that Mel Kiper, the Red Rooster, saying that?
Yeah, pretty much him and everybody else,
It's
because you see
fair.
the talent is there. Whether or not he can put it together and be consistent, we'll see.
Whether or not he can do it against Texas Tech, I'd like to see that.
I would love to. And by the way,
30.
We're talking the trash and doing all this stuff. We have all these interconference. You can easily make this happen. Pay the buyout, play each other in week 1 or week 0. Do it. No other sport has the ability, flexibility to be able to do this. I would love for this to happen, but I think Texas is scared and they ain't going to do it.
Sound like they're ready to pay out Abilene Christian right now. Texas Tech's ready to go.
10.
Pay anybody. Thanks to Mike. Thanks
5 seconds
for listening. Project NIL is next here on Fox Sports Radio.
Professional wrestling fans, the action continues every week. Watch TNA Thursday Night Impact every week on AMC.